All right, we're live. Let's do it. Let's get some bump music going. Bring it up. Tuesday, March 29th. I'm looking at Dutch Chattahoochee in a KC Monarchs hat.
Legendary team, by the way. Legendary.
Oh, that's a cool logo on the side.
It's a patch. Yeah, it says 1946 on it. So
I'm just gonna let the Tejano roll.
I agree, dude. Tejano's awesome. It's great music.
Happy music.
And why we're listening to this, I'm just knocking back a cold blue full throttle. I said full throttle. Full throttle. The True Blue version.
It's good stuff.
I need to get sponsored, or we need to get sponsored. Somebody needs to get sponsored by this Full Throttle brand.
Yeah.
Because this True Blue one, tastes amazing.
LMB week, Liga Mexicana Baseball.
Coming up in a couple days.
Yeah, I'm super psyched. We got the best tickets ever. $30, and you're on top of the dugout. What? That's so sweet. It's going to be major league level talent there. Super psyched about it. All right.
Pablo Sandoval.
A little bit more bumper, and then I'm going to fade it back out. Fourth floor, Nakatomi Towers, March 29, 2022.
On 97.9 The Cat.
All right. Good to see you again, bud.
How you doing?
Doing great. I guess we can do some wrap up on I noticed a couple things on last week's episode.
What's that? Please do tell.
And then we can talk about my travels this weekend in the baseball museum at Bluebell Ice Cream Plant, which was pretty cool.
I did not make travels. However, I did travel to Target, so that's my travel story.
They got baseball stuff there. So we could do that. It's just super mini segments, and then the roadmap is going to be we're going to talk number 8s. Probably with some focus on Yogi Berra, but we can't commit ourselves to that because we don't know where we'll rabbit hole.
No, because I'm going to bring up since you're talking about number 8s, I'm going to bring up Willie Stargell, and I'm not going to say the names right now, but I'm going to put in some honorable mentions from
number
Tampa
was
Bay.
Stargell. Was he 8? He was
number 8.
He was 8. How have they not retired Stargell's number? That's what I want to know. Have they retired that?
No.
What are they doing?
They're waiting for a better number 8, which will never happen.
I don't know. Let's see what Willie's up to. Look up his baseball reference. But yeah, do that. So we'll talk some number 8s like Willie and Yogi, and then we'll also, because there's Yastrzemski and Ripken. I got a couple thoughts on Ripken, and then we'll go local college baseball happenings.
Texas State is balling, dude.
Texas
20-5. 20-5.
They're 20-5, but they came down on a Tuesday, and University of Incarnate Word, right? They're just like, oh, we're ranked. We're just going to crush you guys. Lost 4-2. And I got the box score.
But see, that's the beauty of baseball. It's series games. So it's not like college football where it's like you lose one game to an unranked team. Shit's over. So plus there's more games too. Yeah. So it's all right.
Rollins Carson 1-0. This guy's
Texas State was probably tired from the night before, went out partying.
I mean, you don't typically throw your aces on the midweek game.
Exactly.
For Division I because it's not conference. I get that, but still, that's for University Incarnate Word, you obviously want to win every game, but just an extra special in-state, and that they're coming in already with probably a disrespectful mindset, we're just going to kick your ass, Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
And then this dude just starts throwing up zeros, goes 6 fucking innings of 1 earned run, and you walk out of there with the L.
And we're not taking anything away from Incarnate Word saying, Texas State wasn't having their best players.
They're fucking good. I mean, they understand the difference in recruiting, so it's a sweet taste. But yeah, Incarnate Word, much respect to Rollins Carson. And Incarnate, we got good baseball. But we're going to talk local baseball. They're 11-10 right now. Took down Texas State. You got Trinity. You got UTSA, who we'll talk a lot about because Luke Malone, shout out to Luke Malone. I doubt he'll listen to this, but I'm going to track that dude down. I'm going to be like a stalker fan, man, because that dude is lights out at UTSA. And he followed me on Twitter, which is I only have 100 followers, so that's a big deal. And then But we'll also talk a little bit of Texas Lutheran because they have a place in my heart, and they got some players going off over there. So OLU, UTSA, Trinity baseball. Trinity's good at baseball. UTSA, Texas Lutheran, and I'm probably forgetting somebody's going to be super pissed at me. But as far, what other universities we got around here?
Our Lady of the Lake, you mentioned them, correct?
We got OLU, Trinity, UTSA.
I don't know if Phillips or whatever the college is.
Oh, our community college, I don't think they got baseball.
No. I know that our college that we go to does not, unfortunately.
So, yeah, episode 8, we're going to do number 8's college baseball, and then who's the musical guest, Earl?
Band from Minneapolis, Minnesota, known as Banner Pilot.
That's awesome.
Now okay, I'm not going to get into it right now, but there was a band before Banner Pilot that the bass player Nate was in called Rivethead.
That does sound punk.
They were badass. There's a Rivethead band now, but they're some weird-ass fucking band. I don't know what they do. I think they do like techno or some weird shit, but yeah. So,
that's
good.
Banner Pilot the segment. We went crazy fucking long. We had a caller.
That's kind of what helped us push over the
I guess
limit.
so. We're just rambling. That one we were like unprepared for. This one we're like, okay, that's flavor A that we have completely just out of our asses. And this is flavor B where we're like, okay, we kind of had a plan. Let's see if we can do a modicum of research and then come in to talk about stuff. But I'll handle some mini segments. So here's the first one. I listened to last week's podcast in there, and I said in it twice, instead of the science of hitting, the hitting of science. I
listened to it at work, and I did not even notice that.
Also, I was looking at the books. Rod Carew, I don't know if he just like stole that from Rod Carew. Where's the Carew book? But he stole that maybe also from Williams. He has a book called The Science of Hitting. But I said the hitting of science twice, and I was like, there's no such thing. But then
we're hitting people with science.
Well, maybe there is.
There probably is.
There's like scientists like at the, whatever, the Hadron Collider or something in France, and there's like a rookie scientist. He just got there from like MIT, and they're like, look, bro, we're about to leave the locker room and go to the floor where you're going to have to deal with some vets and some serious computer shit and some serious particle physics. And these dudes are going to body check your fucking ass into your computer. Your monitor's going to go flying off your table, and you got to be ready to take those hits. And you got to have the stamina to go a full season of particle physics without getting your ass clowned.
They have a saying around there. You know what that saying is?
What's that saying?
These neutrons ain't nothing to fuck with.
That's what they're saying.
Like, you think these neutrons are just like little things? No, they ain't nothing to fuck with, man. If you ain't careful, they'll take you down.
Yeah.
I've seen the best scientists get brain wrecked by these.
That's right. I've seen dudes get blown out, laptops flying everywhere, clipboards, white jackets.
I seen a guy go in there one time.
Yeah.
He was my friend. His name was Tony Jones, right? Fresh out of college. Goes into that building to become a scientist. Perfect black hair. Comes out a day later, gray hair.
Gray hair.
He aged like 20 years. I'm like, dude, what happened? He's like, I'm telling you, man, those neutrons ain't nothing to fuck with.
I saw a rookie scientist. He was going to go check some electrodes on the collider.
Right.
Wasn't even looking, kind of like a blindside hit, block up. I mean, it was legal, but dude got blown out. His pocket protector just exploded, and there were just like pins flying across the room. I was like, bro, that's the hitting of science.
I knew this girl goes in there to do a routine mixture of what do you call it, acids and stuff?
Yep.
Routine. Does it every week.
Standard, every day.
And I don't know what happened. Somehow they got mixed up. Dude lost her finger. It just melted off.
It's gone.
But the thing about scientists, though, is if people don't understand, they're used to pain. So she just watched her finger burn off. She's like, okay, whatever. And went about her day.
You got to be tough because there's hitting happening. People don't realize how much scientists body check each other. So
absolutely.
So that's one mini segment. Here's the other one that I forgot to mention like 3 weeks in a row.
What's that?
So we're doing our 3BGB podcast, right? We're putting shit up on Spotify. We're putting it up on YouTube. And then I'm making, we're like trying to make stupid little sketches and put them up. I don't think anybody's watching them. But then like you go into YouTube and you put in 3BGB. And
I know where this is going.
Right? Like this is after we started. So there was like nothing. Like 3BGB, the only thing that would show up is this one kid somewhere in the States at a baseball game. It's like a 17-second clip. And he fields a ground ball at third base and throws it to first. That's it. That's the only thing that shows up for 3BGB. So then we're like, okay, we think that's funny because it's a play on CBGBs. We start putting our shit up. about 2 weeks after we start putting our shit up, this dude is also putting stuff up that's like tagline is 3BGB, but it's just him feeding his cats. And it's awesome.
That's not the part that's awesome. It's his fucking phrase that he says.
He does.
He's like, 3BGB breakfast.
He goes crazy. Like, it's technically better content than the sketches we're putting up. Like, if you, like, it's so perfectly on brand. I want to, like, cross-promote with him and be like, dude, just keep doing it because it's fucking awesome. Like, I'm watching him. I've probably watched, like, 6 or 7 of his cat videos. Hey, I love cats, but it's awesome.
We're going to have him do our intro, so... Because
Yeah.
we always eat in here, like, a donut or something before we start podcasting. So, technically, that donut is our 3BGB breakfast!
Yeah, so like if you think the content we're doing isn't exactly what you like and you're just messing around on YouTube, is like, don't be afraid to click on the cat videos.
You will be impressed.
That shit is dope.
And he's like talking to him. He's like, what was that one? He had that meat. He's like, this meat is so stanky. Yeah,
It's awesome. I love the.
he's like, just look at this can of meat. It's so stanky. It stinks.
And I think there's like corporate people get like too protective of brand. They're
They do.
like, like there was a tiny little restaurant, like local family had in Abilene, Texas called El Phoenix. And El Phoenix, I think, is like a big chain in like Dallas. They got them everywhere or whatever. And then they're like, oh, we're going to take out, you can't call your restaurant El Phoenix. And so they came down hard on these dudes in Abilene who were actually there before them, but these were the big dudes or whatever. Man, they pissed a lot of people off, and everybody's like, I don't want to eat there. But I'm just saying, this dude just is bringing some shine to the brand, really.
I'm from Dallas. I've never heard of El Phoenix.
I've seen it. They're not huge. They're not like prolific. But point being, it was like the dude who thought they were special. Well, I'm gonna crap on you because you can't have same brand name. I was like, you know what? If you're doing some fucking dope shit like feeding your cats and freaking out on it, and you want to use 3BGB, that's on brand. I love it.
If he forced us to change our name, well, then we would.
I'm gonna give him a plug. Let me find it real quick. Because he's like George the Baptist. I don't really know where he gets his, like, what 3BGB means to him, but
So, my aunt listens to these episodes.
She wants us to cuss less.
No, that's not what I was getting at.
Hi, Earl's aunt.
What I was going to
We
say,
love you. Okay.
she showed me this little screenshot where she Googled our name, and we were the first thing that came up on Google.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're getting up there in
So
rankings.
yeah, some of our stuff shows up, like our podcast show up. But if you scroll down on 3BGB, there's 3BGB 11, 6 views 3 weeks ago from the guy's name is not George the Baptist. It's Ginge the Baptist. So Ginge, like a ginger, like Ginge
I
the
think
Baptist.
he's Canadian, so it's probably French or
I
something.
think he's calling his cats gingers though, because in this description it says 3 crazy. This is awesome. 3 crazy gingers snarf down their breakfast. Can we reach 10 subscribers by next Saturday? Oh, the anticipation is killing me. Well, I hope so. Let me just go
Hey,
here.
we're up to like 16 subscribers.
That's
I think.
awesome. How many subscribers does this guy have? Oh, dude, he's got 15 subscribers. This guy's dominating.
He's beating us, or he's catching up. We gotta beat him, man.
You know what? I mean, I'm already ready for second place because honestly, cat content is so hot. Like, I don't really know if you're going to overcome that with just
It's always gonna
baseball
be. Always
talk.
gonna be top quality content.
So the best thing we can do is grab onto his coattails and just kind of like get pulled upward with the 3BGB cat game, and like, you know what I'm saying? Because like he's the Coca-Cola and we're the local. We're like the local bottler.
We're RC.
Yeah, like we're
We're still around.
So like if we stay good with this guy when he has like 10 billion viewers feeding his cats, then we kind of get the overflow of people who clicked on the wrong thing and they're checking out the podcast.
And they're like, oh shit, this is also equally as good. And by that point, we'll have like tons of skits up.
Because technically we were before him. He's after us. We have 17 subscribers. Dude's got 15. The cat game is unstoppable.
Also, this baseball weekend, I don't see why we can't produce some quality videos.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we'll definitely get some footage, a lot of good photos and film from the
Because
games.
Dutch Chattahoochee is a busy man.
It's
so are you, sir.
Yeah, it's insane. So those are 2 mini segments, and then the last, actually 2 more mini segments. Ice cream, Bluebell ice cream, legendary deliciousness, and we just happen to be visiting a friend coming back. They're like, "Yeah, you should go by the Bluebell factory and do the tour and get some ice cream." I was like, "All right, we'll cut through Brenham." And you go there, and as you're going in, it says Baseball Museum. I was like, that's just awesome. You go in there, and it's got all these, like, coaches. It's like the Coaches Hall of Fame or something, like high school coaches. It's got Chuck Knobloch's dad. I think Chuck Knobloch's, or a guy with the name Knobloch, which seems like a pretty uncommon name. He was like a coach. But all these other great coaches, and then it's got certain players, and there's like a number of dudes there was 2 dudes at least I tweeted out that were first-round draft picks from Brenham High School, which seems like a lot. Like, I don't know if my high school had any first-round draft picks, so the fact that a high school has 2 dudes who were first-rounders, that's kind of crazy.
That's kind of a feat.
And there might have been more, and they had all this stuff on Don Baylor and Cecil Cooper, so... Oh, wow, there's some good ball players coming out of Brennan. I don't know if it's the ice cream they're eating or what. I got some Millennium Crunch. Have you ever had that flavor?
Is that the one like cookies and cream in there and some other things?
I think Millennium, if I can say it, like Millennium. But Millennium Crunch had like some chocolate chunks in there and some peanut butter chunks in there or something.
Never had it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge Bluebell guy. I don't eat Bluebell a whole lot. I'm all about that Creamy Curations at HEB.
Creamy Curations. Oh, that's right. You got to plug HEB's.
That's my
great company.
That's my spot of where I work.
They got some good ones. I'm gonna say Bluebell's also great because I hope
got good flavors.
Follow us.
I'm not knocking Bluebell.
That's some good stuff. So that's that one. And then I don't know why I thought of this because I think I was like looking at all the college, like the college stats. I was looking up Incarnate Word and Trinity. I was like looking at their schedules and stuff and seeing who they played. And there was the scores from these Sol Ross games. And I remembered because one of the few people that may be listening to our podcast is Keith Hart, my buddy who I played with, who went insane and hit like 500 for the season with like 30 bombs. And he was small college player of the year. And I never remember him ever not ripping a ball except and he'll remember this game. We played Sol Ross in some tournament in Abilene, Texas, and it's one of those ones where, like, you know, like if you get out of high school and then you're like, no, dude, I'm not going to college. I'm going to go be like a lumberjack for 4 years. And then you get like, then you're like 26 and you decide, you go, you know what? I'm going to go back to college. And then you're like, I'm not going to only got to go back to college. I'm going to play some sports.
At 26?
But now they're like a grown-ass man, but they don't have they haven't lost any eligibility. So it's like, yeah, that's cool. So we thought it was like a little bit of a disadvantage that this dude was a grown-ass man, but it probably was zero advantage at all. And this guy was just that good of a pitcher because he wasn't that big of a dude, and he was left-handed. But, God, man, he could run. He could run that ball in on your hands. He was jamming everybody. But me and Hart, we hated that guy because we couldn't hit him. He was really good. And I bet if he was younger, he probably would have got a look. So he shouldn't have gone and done. I don't know if he's a lumberjack, but I remember him having a huge beard and being left-handed. That's kind of how I remember it.
That was a lumberjack tendency.
That was the only bad game Hart had the entire season. That's a mini one, and I think that's my mini segments before we get into number 8. Oh, no.
What's that?
Here's the other mini segments. That's Dutch Chattahoochee greatness.
What's that?
So I get out of my Kia Sedona this morning. Dutch Chattahoochee is waiting for me.
I know what you're
and he goes, dude, I brought my fungo bat. And I go, dude, that's fucking so awesome. I can't believe it. And you're like, man, I just wanted a fungo, you know, hit some fucking ground balls, hit some fly balls. And it just made me think of all the things that fungo bats make me think of. And I can run down a laundry list of that.
See, I also have those practice balls, so they're not like as heavy as a regular baseball, so I can hit dingers with that thing.
So here's what, like, because my ADD, like, I just need to see like one thing or have like one smell or you to say one word and it like sparks all these fucking memories that just like run. And so when you brought that fungo, there's two things I thought of. The first one is like I didn't even know such a bat existed till I was like fucking 12 or something, and Dad was like coaching Little League, and he like showed up with this weird ass bat, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, oh, it's easier for hitting ground balls, and it kind of is if you know how to use it. And I guess dudes that coach a lot eventually get pretty good with a fungo bat. And that transitions to the fact that, like, once I realized they existed, for, like, dudes that are coaches or get into the coaching game, eventually it's like a skill, you know? It's like, I'm fucking awesome at the fungo. And our junior college coach, Abney, we take infield, outfield, which is, and this is what, like, the rabbit holing of my memory. So one thing in Major League Baseball that they don't do is lost, but college baseball still does, that is super cool. MLB does the batting practice, so you can watch dudes hit bombs, and that's cool. Get the balls. But in college, it was kind of like check out the other dudes. If dudes are like, because honestly, a lot of us couldn't straight up even hit homers in batting practice. It wasn't like MLB where everybody can go out of the yard. So if they're like watching these dudes take BP, it's kind of a flex if they got big dudes who can just jack homers. But the other super big flex was your infield, outfield. And this is where before the game, the coach is standing up there at home plate, and there's a level of showmanship to the infield, outfield. You know, you hit like a couple balls to each outfielder, they gun it into second, they gun it into third, and then they gun it into home. So you're like checking out everybody's arm. Does the right field really have a cannon? You're looking at the relays. And it was like bad form if you really fucked up something on infield, outfield, because it was this very orchestrated routine of throwing the ball around. Like and if you're doing it right, there's a lot of balls flying at once, because he'll hit one to left, hit one to right, and then they're all coming. So balls are getting thrown in.
Well, yeah, because they have the little bucket of balls in front. They just pick one at a time and just ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding,
So
ding.
while the left fielder's thrown into the second, the second baseman just got that's thrown that the third, and there's already another ball getting hit to center. So it's like this whole thing, and it's pretty dope. A lot of teams do it really good, and it's a cool flex. And that's just, I just thought that was neat about college baseball, the old infield, outfield. And then the last thing you do is the catcher who does like a couple bunts, and then the cherry on top of the milkshake is the coach hits a fucking sky-high pop-up for the catcher. And some dudes, you know, like can't do it. So they just like throw it up, which is weak sauce.
That's
and
lame.
then, yeah, and if you can't throw it up, then you like take your fungo and you kind of pop it up. But if you're a badass like fucking Coach Abney was, because he was the most fearsome coach ever, he'd throw it up and full hack, crush it straight up into the sky. It wasn't perfect every time, but he did it more often than not. The dude would absolutely hit the most perfect fucking, you know, sky high straight up pop up, which is not
with
easy
a fungo
to
bat?
do. With a fungo bat,
Oh,
not
shit.
easy to do. Not easy to do at all. And then the catcher's got to catch that, you know, because those are difficult fly balls when they're not traveling any distance. And then they catch it and your infield, outfield's over. So that was the other rabbit hole. And now I think I'm ready to get proper. Do you want any more bump music?
No.
I got my mini segments.
I know we do have a pretty sick closer song though.
Oh, we do. The Tejano and polka to me sound very similar. And in this area of Texas, there's so many Germans, and like they have Wurstfest and New Braunfels and all these other kind of cool German polka stuff. And then you got Tejano. There's probably like 5 or 6 Tejano radio stations, and I find it to be a very happy, fun music.
I love Tejano, man.
That's so good.
Because that's why I like it. It's always it's upbeat and fun, you know. You can put it on anywhere, anytime, and people get stoked.
I thought it would be cool if you had like because you know there's these like mega country bars or whatever, like venues. I thought it'd be cool if you had like a few acres like out, like maybe between here and New Braunfels, and it was like
Lotus even.
Yeah, it was like a venue. Like on one end there's a stage, and that stage plays polka, and then like a football field distance across, there's another stage, and that stage is playing Tejano. So if you're close enough to the stage, you can kind of hear it, right? And then on the sides, maybe you got like bars and food trucks and places where people can sit. But in Washington, the Washington State dance was square dance. And I don't know, but one of the moves was like, I think it's like the do-si-do or something, like where you hook arms and you just like spin around.
Yeah.
And I could just picture all these people like you're dancing to polka, you're dancing, and then you can dance into and they could kind of meet in the middle and do-si-do and spin around and hook arms and just dance and have a grand old time.
Mucho personas, mucho música.
I don't know why I dreamed that up, but that's a business idea for somebody. A lot of people dancing with accordions.
And dude, in Tejano, the people, it's always so the badass is always the one that is the lead singer and plays the accordion too.
Yeah,
He's like the lead guitar player of a rock band. Like, you know, when this dude walks out with an accordion and he starts singing, he's like the shit, dude. He's like the rock star of the band.
Yeah, Tejano, like, I don't know, but I mean, you're huge. Like, you're mega.
Yeah.
You're like P Diddy or something.
You know the coolest thing too about
you're
Tejano?
like a top Tejano band. Yeah.
It's the suits. They always have matching outfits.
Yeah, they got matching outfits. There's always a tuba, I think. Like, I read an NPR story. Like, all these tubas were getting stolen from Los Angeles area high schools because the young kids were like, we want to start like this Tejano bands for parties. They just were throwing high school parties, and I thought that was so cool.
You know what's sick too is mariachi music too.
Mariachi's good, but it's not as fun as Tejano to me.
But it's still badass. So there's like this place downtown called Rita's on the river.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have mariachi bands down there, and they'll just walk up to your table and start playing.
Yeah, but they want
badass.
But you got to give them dough. So it's
which
kind of like
which is fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you got to look out for the mariachis. They'll sidle up to you, give you
a
couple songs.
Outfit.
Because, like, I mean, I don't need you to come up to my table, so I got to give you $20. Like, I heard the other songs you played 2 tables over, and that was awesome. Like, they're gonna see you on a date or whatever. They're gonna come up and play a song. You're like,
we need some
all right, here you go.
Mariachi outfits.
That would be nice. I would totally love a mariachi outfit. So where do we go with number 8? I think maybe we actually close with like Barrett and Stargell as number 8s. I don't know.
Well, I am going to throw like 3 Tampa Bay players that were number 8.
Let's go there. Let's open with that.
It'll be three of them. Okay.
Okay.
Desmond Jennings.
Okay.
Do you remember him?
I remember the name. How long was he in the league for?
10 years or so.
Dang.
No, 6 years, I believe. He played for Tampa Bay 2010 to 2016. So he was like So if you remember Carl Crawford that played for us.
Yep.
I guess he was supposed to be the next Crawford, but I think Jennings had injuries or he just didn't pan out as well as we thought he would.
Okay. Yeah.
And the second player, which is currently the second baseman, is Brandon Lowe.
Okay.
I say Lowe. I'm not sure if it's Lau or Lowe. I think it's Lowe.
Let's look at his minors. He played 7 years.
Yeah.
Desmond Jennings did. He was out of high school, 19-year-old rookie league. So he started his professional career in 2006. And then his last baseball reference shows age of 30, 2017.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Not a ton of power. He might have had speed though. Some stolen base stats in here.
Like I said, he's supposed to be our next Carl Crawford, but
52 stolen bases with 62 RBIs in 132 games in AAA. So yeah, I guess he was a prospect for sure. But yeah, it never panned out.
And then my final player is Jason Bartlett, the shortstop that used to play for us. Then he went on to play for San Diego as well. But
yeah.
Those are 3 Tampa Bay players I figured I'd throw in there real quick.
Totally forgot about Bartlett. He was pretty good.
Gotta represent my team.
Played 10 years in Major League Baseball.
We've had some studs over here. We still have studs on that team.
Let's see, Bartlett. Bartlett went to University of Oklahoma, St. Mary's, California. Look at this. Bartlett was... Oh, he started with Minnesota, and then he went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and then he went to San Diego.
2009 was a banner year. Dude hit 320 with 14 homers, 66 bibbies, 66 bibbies, and 137 games as a shortstop. That's pretty good.
So I just had to get those names in there. I had to represent the team.
Here's one that's like, so you look at Baseball Reference, you look at all these guys. This is going to like transition to Cal Ripken Jr. I was kind of a Cal Ripken Jr. hater when I was younger, but when I was younger, I was like a hater of all these guys. I don't really know why that was.
Mr. Iron Man himself, Cal Ripken Jr.
But like Bartlett's a good example, right? So this is your starting shortstop. Played 100. Most he ever played in a season was 140 games with Minnesota. So like Ripken has really great stats, like really good stats for a shortstop. But that game stat, that 162, and I don't know how the streak went together because there's like there's like seasons where he had 161 games, and I was like, didn't that break the streak? Because starting in and I don't know if he missed the first 2 games of season in 82, but 1983 162, 84 162, but then 1985 is 161 games according to that stat, but then 86 is 162, 87 is 162, but 88's 161. So like I'd have to go back and like where there just straight up games canceled, and then like MLB was like, you don't have to make up that game, because that consecutive game streak that broke Garrick's record was insane. But just seeing that many 162s, you got that reliable of a guy.
Because it was like what?
Without injury. It's amazing.
Like almost 2,700 straight, something like that.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
I think the official number, is 2632. So
yeah.
That's still crazy.
So yeah, his dad was a coach, and here's another thing I guess I never looked at, but he's a Maryland guy. So how perfect is that? Kind of a hometown boy. Like, he's from the area, like Aberdeen, Maryland, went to high school there. His dad was, I think, a coach in the Orioles or for the Orioles, and then you just go play your entire career for the Orioles.
Yeah.
Like, he must love everything about Maryland, crabbing, and you name it. So, but my goodness, Cal Ripken Jr. is great. And
20 years for the same team.
The other, and I'm going to look it up too, the other thing that's hilarious about Cal Ripken Jr. is, right, so this dude's already in the league. He's awesome. And then his little brother, Billy Ripken.
I remember him,
Billy Ripken shows up, and you're like, oh, is this dude going to be awesome? And this is right about the time I was, like, in the height of my baseball card collecting. And I went to Tye Middle School one day and, like, dude, did you hear about Billy Ripken card? Did you get the Billy Ripken card? I was like, what are you talking about? So, the Billy Ripken card, it says fuckface on the bottom of his bat. And so Topps, like 87, printed a card of Billy Ripken holding a bat, and written on the handle, like the nub handle, it just says fuckface. And I think some like dudes on the team thought that was hilarious, like it wasn't even as bad. Like, here, hold this for your baseball card picture. Like they were fucking with the rookie or something. And so then once Topps figured it out, they stopped printing it, like whatever, blurred it out.
So it's like one of those novelty royalty cards?
Yeah, it's like the upside down stamp or something of baseball. Like, it's fucking hilarious that it happened. And Billy Ripken was not maybe as awesome as his brother.
I know. I just thought, I had no idea they were related. I just thought they just oddly had the same last name.
Yeah, I mean,
because I remember, I don't know if he still does, but Billy Ripken used to do baseball stuff for ESPN. I don't know if he still does or not. But.
That's cool. He's probably like a super nice guy. He's a Major League Baseball player, and I'm not even going to talk about nepotism, but dude made it to the show. Did good. I mean, let's see his minor stats.
Making it to the show is a feat.
They justify the call-up. I mean, 286, 74 games. Honestly, not the best minor league stats. There may have been nepotism, but you know what? Your dad's a coach and your brother's Cal Ripken. They're probably thinking, like, if you can get anywhere near that, you're good. But I bet if he wasn't, if he wasn't a Ripken, I don't know if this dude actually gets that look, because his minor league stats aren't really blowing anybody away. I mean, rookie league, hit 244, then he hit 217, then he hit 230, moves up to Double-A. It's like, let's move him up. He's hitting 230 in A-ball. It's 194.
Ooh, that's bad. That's low as hell.
But that's only 32 games, so small sample size. But still, dude, it's not like this guy's ripping. Keep him in Double-A the next season. Hits 268. And I think he's an infielder, so like if you need infielders, I guess you're moving him up as he's getting older. But he's a Ripken, so he hits 268 in Double-A with 5 homers, and then you're like, whatever, let's put you in Triple-A. 74 games in Triple-A, he hit 286 with no homers, 11 RBIs in 74 games. I mean, these are just not...
They're not good numbers.
Those are not numbers that really justify calling a dude up, frankly.
So you said he had 11 RBIs in 74 games?
Yeah.
That's shitty.
But check it out. So then they're like, that year they call him up, 87.
Why?
And maybe that's why his buddies resented him and gave him the fuckface bat. But he actually hit fucking 308 with 2 dongs and 20 RBIs. So he did better in the show in 87 than he did in AAA. And then he goes 1988, they give him a full season, and it's just kind of like what the minor leagues were showing you. Dude hit 207 with 2 home runs. Almost played a full season, dude.
He definitely got moved up because of his last name. Those are terrible stats.
Those are not
terrible.
Those are not good stats, Billy.
207.
But it's not his fault he's related. Like, he was just born into this world. I didn't know my dad was going to be the coach. My brother was going to be a Hall of Famer. So
that's true.
It's not like he did it. He's not a bad person. He just, it's tough to live up. I had one good season. Check out this season.
That's like Michael Jordan having a son. His son's never going to be
hit
like Michael.
291, 28 doubles. I mean, if you hit 291 in the majors in 129 games, that's pretty good.
Well, that's almost 300. Yeah, that's good.
So, but then he's kind of just like a 200 hitter. Here's one good season. Check this out. This is another good season.
This is Billy Ripken?
Oh, no, that's AAA. Never mind. Well, he hit 292 in AAA. But, yeah. But check it out. Like, once you got out of the Baltimore system, way less playing time, right? So Baltimore is like letting him play the whole season. Then he gets traded to Texas, hits 189 for them.
Even worse.
Rangers, and this is 93 when they're pretty good. And then they let him, he must have got ripped in spring training or something, because then he hit 309 in 32 games for the Rangers. And then Cleveland's like, all right, we'll take a flyer on him. He does pretty good in AAA, so Cleveland brings him up for like 8 games in 95, 96. He plays 57 games. He kind of did a little bit better as far as like batting average at the end of his career. But, yeah, I don't think you get those looks. But anyway, Cal Ripken, amazing. Billy Ripken, probably just a great guy. That's what I'll say there.
He's a great guy.
Great
he
guy.
invites you over for a barbecue.
Great guy, but also not even his fault. Like, he's just going to be known for that baseball card.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody...
That and the fact that his brother is Kyle Ripken.
Let me give you a price tag.
Carl Ripken Jr.
There's another Ripken brother, I thought, but I could be wrong. Let me give you a price tag on the fuckface baseball card. And I just like saying...
Fuckface.
That's right, dude.
You fucking fuckface.
It's hilarious. I mean, we're trying to, like, not cuss, but that's what's on the card.
No, my aunt said not for us to cuss, but she just wanted to show my grandmother.
This is like the Amelia Earhart upside down stamp.
Have you seen that photo where like, no, she's still alive. She's on the dock, I guess.
Conspiracy theory. Okay, here we go. I guess it wasn't a Topps. They can't even write it. How much is the Billy Ripken F face card worth? Billy Ripken, $45. What? I thought it was worth like $10,000. What am I talking about?
Now, if it's signed,
so it was a Fleer 99 Fleer error card. There's at least 4 variations of the error card. The most popular variation actually has the actual obscenity written on the knob end. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
I have a not Billy Ripken, but what was it, Carl Ripken Jr., the dad. I have his baseball card.
So it looks like the price varies, but I bet I could get an F face card for about $420 if I really wanted it, and I kind of really want it now. But it's awesome, right? Because people are going to eventually, just like all collectibles, like half of them are going to get lost, and I'm the only guy. There's like 10 of us left with F face cards.
I think it'd be a cool card to have. It's like, hey, come over here and check this out.
I mean, I don't really have a puritanical side to me, but frankly, any sort of obscenity is kind of funny. Let's take a look. We're cruising right along. So Carl Yastrzemski was number 8. Stargell was number 8.
Yogi Berra was number 8.
Berra's the best because we can talk about all his quotes in his life and what an awesome dude.
Can we also just throw in a couple more here?
Yes.
Joe Carter when he played for Toronto, and then Joe Morgan, of course.
Joe Carter, and I was such a crazy Phillies fan when Joe Carter hit that homer to just put the dagger in the heart.
Goddamn, Mitch Williams blew it.
But that was kind of a filthy pitch. It was a fastball down and in the way I remember it. He just hooked it down. It's just like line drive down the right, like left field line. I was like, man.
And Mitch Williams is my dude too.
Yeah, if you can hit that pitch from Mitch Williams, better team won, right? I mean, Toronto was just that good.
But even great pitchers always every now and then give up a bad pitch and the person hits it or something.
Yeah, it's not like he just went right down Broadway belt high. I mean, it was a filthy fastball going like down and in. So you got to just tip your cap to Joe Carter on that one.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty sweet. I think don't really have any like
We all can't be Mario Rivera's over here.
fan base following of like super nerds. Also say Guten Tag to our one German listener, but we don't like. It'd be sweet if we had some crazy listener that was like he was like a fan of 3BGB and he knew all the stuff that we don't know. And, like, maybe he listens to the podcast because it just drives him nuts. It's like they get so much shit wrong. And he's, like, emailing us. You said this wrong. You said that. I want that person. But I think at the time...
He's like, actually, he did not bat 271.
It was, like, maybe, like, Bill Mazeroski or whatever for the Pirates versus the Yankees or something. And then that one. There's, like, not too many World Series where... a homer is just like, that's it. That was the last walk-off.
There's definitely a guy sitting on his home. He has like a notepad spiral full of errors that we've made, and he's just waiting to tear into us.
He's just pulling his hair out. And I want to tell that person I love him.
He's like, how dare you mention he played for all these teams, but you forgot the main team he played for.
Like,
hey,
we need help.
Also, Phillies, if you're listening, which you probably are, please bring back those powder blue and maroon uniform and permanently keep them that way.
Did you see that retweet I had on that Andrew McCutcheon, like all maroon?
Yeah.
We had it like zipped down to his like navel practically in a huge gold chain. I love I love me some Andrew McCutcheon. My goodness, that dude is so great. He's a super funny guy. I honestly think this is my future for Andrew McCutcheon.
What's that?
If Kutch is listening. And he probably is already thinking this because the dude's got talents, so many talents. But Andrew McCutcheon is going to be like an Oscar-winning actor. Like, that dude needs to do, like, comedies and Hollywood stuff after baseball. Because, like, some of these dudes go on to be analysts. I was like, not Kutch, dude. That guy's multi-talented. He needs to have his own... Like, that would be cool if MLB or somebody gave Kutch his own show where he could do, like, comedy content. That's what I'm voting for McCutcheon. I freaking love that guy.
I had no idea he was a comedian.
Oh, dude, he posts all kinds of funny stuff. He's pretty hilarious. Besides being awesome.
Can I make I know I'm kind of trailing off, but can I make a prediction right now? The dumbest fucking prediction ever, but I'm going to make it because I have a feeling.
Yep.
You know who's going to win MVP?
Who's that?
Josh Bell, the Nationals.
Josh Bell, the Nationals? I think Soto is going to go
First baseman. Now, obviously, that's not, like, going to happen, but for kicks for myself, I'm like, Josh Bell, because I think Nationals are NL, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because they beat the Astros in the World Series. Yeah, so NL. So Josh Bell.
Good for Josh Bell. I hope he does.
He's going to win MVP, first baseman for the Nationals. He's played for the Pirates.
Yeah, guess where he's from?
Texas?
Dallas.
What's up, hometown?
Jesuit College Preparatory School of Dallas. He's probably a genius. The Jesuit schools are crazy hard.
So I'm putting that out there right now. That he's going to be NL MVP.
All right, I'm rooting for Josh Bell. He had great numbers last year. My goodness. 27 ding-dongs.
See, it's not bad. 27 home runs.
You know, it's like Jeff Kent. Like, Jeff Kent kind of came out of nowhere for me. Remember that guy? I was like, what?
The Giants player.
Yeah, but he, like, won MVP, I want to say, one year. I could be wrong. But he was, like, a second baseman, and you're, like, getting all this power out of your second baseman. Yeah, he did. Flipping won MVP in with the San Francisco Giants in 2000. Like, you didn't see that coming. He had like 14 homers. It was a 26-year-old. Like, he just kind of like flexed up, went off, started becoming a 30 home run year guy. I don't know if that's PEDs. It's kind of middle of steroid era, and you're playing for the Giants, so that's a little.
He definitely had a little taste.
Your stats are kind of inflating. Also, at a time, I don't know if he was in like the Balco.
Because 01 was when Barry Bonds had that amazing badass
ERA. So Bonds is going off, and then like 2000, Kent's an MVP with 33 bombs and 125 RBIs. Kind of crazy. Kind of a coincidence. I am making, I don't know.
Well, it's kind of hard to like not look past it whenever someone has a shitty, like they've had shitty years before, and all of a sudden they have a year where they go up and then they suck again. It's like, huh.
Brady for the, what was his name? I always forget the center fielder for Orioles, but he went like from like 12 homers or 16 homers to like 50 and then like back down to 18. So it was like one season. Jeff Kent, dirty hippie, went to Berkeley High School.
California?
And then Cal Berkeley. So he was probably protesting the war in Vietnam, except he would have been like not even born or like 5 years old. So.
Goddamn.
I'm kidding. All right, so number 8. So let's just go like flow into Yastrzemski. because I'm not like that versed in Yastrzemski. You always hear about him, what an awesome hitter he was. He's got the crazy name. His grandson's playing, but like, I don't know why it's the Red Sox lore around Ted Williams is just like much.
I watched this. It's like it was on ESPN one time. It was like a documentary about Carl Yastrzemski. I can't say his last name.
Yastrzemski.
And they were talking about like Ted Williams. Like you don't replace Ted Williams. You just put somebody in.
Yep.
Because obviously, yeah, you're never going to replace Ted Williams as a Red Sox guy, but. Carl was a good player, too.
I mean, I've always heard about him, and I knew he was an awesome hitter, but look at what baseball Hall of Fame, MVP, Triple Crown, which is not something you even get every year.
In 1967.
18-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove, 3-time batting title.
And AL MVP, too.
So if the Red Sox didn't have Ted Williams, all we'd ever talk about would be this guy could rake.
Because he's also a Hall of Famer as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there was 1967, insane. He hit 44 dongs, 121 bibbies, batted .326, led the league.
So
he led the league in everything.
When this man retired, he was at the time of retirement, he was Red Sox all-time leader in RBIs, runs, hits, singles, doubles, total bases, and games played. So he was one of their. I wonder if you could ever say he was better than Ted Williams.
Batted left, throws right. He didn't have the same power. That was like, actually, the Triple Crown season was, I mean, that's actually unusual. He never had a 30-homer season. It was either in the teens, the 20s, and then he had a 40, a 40, and a 44. That's interesting. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. He had tons of doubles. He could absolutely rip.
His career batting average was .285, so it's not terrible.
But you got to watch some video of him. He's also, when we were talking about the science of hitting or the hitting of science, depends on how you want to look at it. I think he had held his hands really high up. Yeah. But it was interesting to watch some of these guys on how they get, got their bats ready and into the zone, but Yastrzemski had his own deal. But yeah, I spelled his name wrong. But yeah, Yaz, I think, was a high, put your hands up high. Like Albert Bell was like, I'll put my hands over the plate. Yastrzemski had his own thing, but high average hitter too. Let's see here. Oops.
Are you looking at his batting stance or what?
I'm trying to find it. But for some reason it keeps giving me his kid or his grandson, but I'm spelling his name wrong. It's there's the RZ. Let's go.
His name's hard to spell, man.
Yeah.
I can barely even pronounce it. Like I had to watch videos last night of how to say this dude's name, and I still can't fucking say it.
Okay, here's 48 seconds of footage I can get. I will make sure this is on mute. So let's see how he's kind of getting ready here. There's 2 home runs on opening day on YouTube, and check it out. But we got to watch the Google ad first. I'm always interested. I'm just like interested as a hitter on like how people load their hands, and just when you go to the ballpark and you look at, like, we'll go to the Mexican leagues and all the different ways, and I always notice it because like missions or something. Yeah, his hands were up pretty high. But like some dudes won't even stride. They've completely removed the stride because that's a big problem, is getting your foot down with proper timing. Some dudes just kind of like heel lift. Shohei is a little bit like that. Sometimes he'll just like lift his heel, but the toe never comes off the ground. So all kinds of different ways. And that's actually a pretty good transition into the Yogi Berra, Bill Dickie, number 8 Yankee thing, because I was watching video on Yogi's hitting because I was so interested in, dude's 5'8", like 165, 170.
He's tiny.
God, it's just crazy home runners, like 380 homers. Guy had great power. So he's getting good extension, but his stride, I saw footage. There's like a 20-minute thing on YouTube. It's just like Yogi Berra highlights, which is crazy. It only has 212 views, but they're in that highlight reel, which is about 10 minutes long. There's one where he's taking 2 strides. You could see him. He like steps, and then he takes another little jab step right before he swings. And I was like, that must
he has his leg comes up just little, just like a little amount.
Well, he didn't do it. He didn't do it every time. Like, normally he would just take one stride, but I was like, that's how, like, unique he was. Like, I don't think I've ever taken 2 strides in the batter's box in my life, but there was actual footage of him just ripping, probably an off-speed pitch where he, like, kind of stepped, and then he stepped again to get, I don't know. It was crazy, but Yogi looked kind of pretty standard. I will say one thing that they talk a lot about in hitting. He looked real balanced when he got done swinging. He looked like he wasn't, like, leaning one way or the other. He has real good balance. And the other thing about Yogi is we're just going to, like, go in no particular order on Yogi stories. So we've mentioned him on a number of podcasts because I like him so much.
You call him a national treasure.
He is a national treasure. Most people do love Yogi and everything about him. But one thing I mentioned, I was like, how in the F the St. Louis Cardinals miss on that guy and then draft Garagiola?
He was from St. Louis, right?
He was a St. Louis kid. He was a local kid. And there's a story behind that. And here's why St. Louis missed on him. Branch Rickey was working for the Cardinals, and he knew he was about to get, like, the GM job or whatever with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And he was in the area scouting the local kids, and he saw Garagiola and he saw Berra, and secretly he's like, I like Berra's game better, but I'll tell the Cardinals, get Garagiola, and I'll keep mum, like, about my inner feelings that Berra might be the better prospect, and then once I get to the Dodgers, I'll flip and sign him. So the Cardinals get Garagiola, and he doesn't get the Cardinals to scoop up Berra, thinking he's going to get him, and the Yankees come in and get Berra. So that's how St. Louis missed on the local kid.
Or maybe at the time he was going by Lawrence Peter instead of Yogi.
Yeah.
So they're like, that name doesn't sound like a baseball player name.
And so the one I found was, and I think he went by the name Cusano when he was in the...
See, now that sounds cool.
So it's his mother's maiden name.
Yeah, because they were Italian immigrants, correct? I think.
Italian immigrants. Yeah. And so when he was in the Army, he was like... I
thought he was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy. He went under the name Cusano and played for the Cranston Chiefs or something like that. Yogi plays in Rhode Island. He was like a merchant marine or however it was, and or maybe the Providence Chief, which is super cool. And they had, like, some numbers for him. But then there was, like, what did they say? They go, the city at Cranston Stadium, a guy named Cusano kept hitting home runs for the Cranston Chiefs, and few people knew that his real name was Yogi Berra, a top Yankee prospect. The city updated the field and raised the fence 30 feet because one day Cusano hit a ball 500 feet off the roof of the Cranston Bible Chapel in center field.
He just killed it.
Crushed it. How cool of a flippin' Yogi Berra story is that? I mean, the dude loved baseball. I knew everything there was. He has so many funny quotes. And
his Yogi-isms. I love his Yogi-isms.
Oh, they're so good. There's so many.
Like, it ain't over till it's over, or you can observe a lot by watching.
Yeah, they have a lot. They had the list. They had not a full examples of Yogi-isms. So let's see here. It's deja vu all over again. And that's what Berra said when he witnessed Mickey Mantle and Roger Barras repeatedly hitting back-to-back home runs in the 60s. He said, yeah, you can observe a lot by watching.
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned, yeah.
He goes, and then what's the other one? When you come to the fork in the road, take it, which is true, because he was given directions to Joe Garagiola to his house in New Jersey, and there's a portion where the road does fork on his house. He goes, but when you ask Yogi later, he goes, well, they come back together, like after they go around this, like, block of houses, so it doesn't really matter if you go left or go right. You're going to be back on the same. So that's why I said, like, he had a good explanation for all of his funny sayings. Like, that's why you just take the fork.
There's also that one where he said, if you can't imitate him, don't copy him.
So the name of the St. Louis restaurant, and I think he was the maitre d' at Regazzi's, says nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
Yeah.
Yogi Bear Day at Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. Thank you for making this day necessary, which is hilarious. And there's another funny one which doesn't show up in Wikipedia, and I forget where I read it, but there's somebody put together like a Yogi Berra museum. I think it's in New Jersey. And so they, got all this cool Yogi stuff. And then they had like Yogi. They finally got Yogi to like come down. Do you want to here's a museum we made. We just are big fans. Do you want to come? Like maybe it wasn't like the first year it was open. And so they had like Yogi Berra Day, and he come down, like talked about baseball. He's a super nice guy. And somebody goes, all right, is this something we're going to do annually? And he goes, I guess we'll wait and see if we do it next year. So he would just say like the most obvious stuff, but it sounds funny. He said, always go to other people's funerals or they won't go to yours, which is true, but funny, but we all know what he means.
Can't forget the classic, a nickel ain't worth a dime anymore.
That's right. If people don't want to come to the ballpark, how the hell are you going to stop them? 90% of the game is half mental, or, baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical. And then he also said it gets late early out there. And what he was talking about, I can't remember if it was Detroit or one of the stadiums, was like if you're playing left field, the sun and the shadows in that left field really came in early in the afternoon. So that's what he was saying. It gets late early out there, which makes sense once you hear him explain it.
That shit makes perfect sense if you think about it.
He did.
But the one about the restaurant is the best fucking one. Nobody comes here anymore. It's too crowded.
He also, like, I think he went to a pizzeria and bought a pizza, and he's like, just cut it into 4 slices. I don't think I can eat 8. So same amount of pizza, less slices, he could eat it. But amazing dude. And probably like an Einstein level genius on the way he like viewed and thought about the world, but it was all in the area of baseball. But what a solid guy. I can't remember all the Yogi. We'll think of many more. But I want to just like cover a little bit about what a flippin' hero this dude was, and like very humble about it. Talk about his military service. Because I didn't know this. Like, I'd probably been a Yogi Berra fan for a long time.
You won a Purple Heart being in the Navy.
Yeah, like I knew about him. You know about Yogi Berra, yeah, and then like way later, like I was maybe in my 30s, and I was like, this dude was at D-Day. So he served as a Navy as a gunner's mate on the attack transport USS Bayfield during the Normandy landings. And, like, you ain't seen Saving Private Ryan. Like, that's got to be the craziest
moments ever.
This is, like, crazy combat. Like, all day, just fired upon. Just so, I can't even imagine.
Because these dudes were getting drilled as soon as, like, they rolled up on the beach, man.
It was, like, once it popped off, then you just got, like, German machine gun nests and just, like, artillery. This was insanity. So, Berra was one of a 6-man crew on a Navy boat firing machine guns and launching rockets at the German defenses at Omaha Beach.
Can you imagine? Hey, you're fucking Yogi Berra, man. What's up?
Unbelievable.
Shooting rockets and shit.
And Berra was just like balls of steel, just firing away.
I'm going to keep talking about Yogi Berra, but I'm going to kind of make like a humorous little side thing.
Yeah.
So those video games like Call of Duty and stuff?
Yeah.
What if they made a Yogi Berra as a unlockable character?
That would be so dope.
You could fucking play as Yogi Berra like as a gunman or something.
That's kind of an awesome idea.
Like he was like one of the, like there's like different classes, but like Yogi Berra was like its own thing. Like,
that and like Ted Williams was like a fighter pilot you could do.
Yeah. So there was like all these baseball players in the 50s and shit. And 40s.
But they have to have special skills like balls of steel,
yeah,
like or something.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. Like all the players in the 40s and 30s and 50s who went to war, they could be unlockable characters in like Call of Duty and stuff.
Respect to all those guys. I mean, unbelievable.
But also like if they made it back alive, the fact they went back to baseball and still dominated.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the real heroes, if you ask like Yogi, the real heroes, the guys who didn't come home, So, I mean, they're just doing their gig, but it's just, definitely tip your cap to these guys. So that was just, that was kind of like, like a shock, actually, because it was such a historical moment in American history, and I didn't even know, like, one of my favorite baseball dudes was there.
Now you know.
And that also goes into kind of like the love-hate. Like, you can't be a baseball fan and hate on the Yankees too hard because they just got so much history of awesomeness. And I'll tie this into, so, like, following his military service, I'm going to tie this into Bill Dickie, who was also number 8, played minor league baseball with the New York Bears, surprising the team's manager with his talent, despite his short stature. He was mentored by Hall of Famer Bill Dickie, whose uniform number Barrett took, and he said later, I owe everything I did in baseball to Bill Dickie, right? So if you look at Bill Dickie,
they both were catchers too.
They were both catchers, so, like, it's kind of crazy if you go to Bill Dickie's numbers. I got Dickie Thon up here, by the way, because we're talking about him
Dickie
next.
Thon's, that's the dude right there.
But Bill Dickie was awesome. He was so good. And so you go from Bill Dickie as your catcher. So let me just look at this. This is how good your backstop is for the Yankees.
So there's two Dickies that we're talking about today, Bill Dickie and Dickie Thon.
That's right. So Bill Dickie shows up in 1928 as a rookie, basically becomes your regular catcher in 1929. So, like, from basically 1929 through the end of Berra's career in 60, like, last, like, major full, like, 61, 62. So, like, 28 to 61. 1928 to 61. So, like, 30 plus years. 30, that's how you win those championships. 30 plus years, you have a Hall of Fame catcher. You go Bill Dickie to Yogi Berra.
Yeah.
And then you got Bill Dickie down there teaching Yogi, who's immensely talented, all the tricks of the trade of being an awesome catcher. That's kind of a cool story. And then they pass off number 8. I mean, that's great. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, can you imagine having those two catchers in a row?
Yeah, and Yogi is he's super quotable, so he's kind of like there's going to be a lot more media, and you tend to forget about Bill Dickie being number 8, and it overshadowed, like, the reputation and the fact that there was just more television and radio in Yogi's era so people were like, oh, who's Bill Dickie? And it was like, no, dude, that guy was awesome too. So that's kind of a crazy. So there's some 8s there, but do we, Dickie Thon wore number 8?
I don't think so.
Did he? Yeah, he did. Like, check it out.
No, he didn't wear number 8. I mean, he may have at one point.
At one point, that's what I'm saying.
I was going to say, I don't think that was his regular number.
Willie Stargell. We gave a lot to Willie Stargell.
Because, like, see, we were talking about this last week. But
I love his swing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. That's how awesome Willie Stargell is.
Because he had that little flick of the wrist thing. He would do this little wind up, like, do the bat thing, right? Like, up and down, and then
let's do some Stargell, because I love Pops, but Dickie Thon was number 8 with the Brew Crew.
Okay, so he wore it 1 year.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I have an obsession with Dickie Thon. I just do.
Well, I'm just gonna go down. It might be the hardest name ever.
And I'll be honest. My fascination with this dude and, like, looking up his history and baseball stats and career was based off a baseball card. I had this baseball card and I brought it in today because it deserves to be displayed. But I had this Dickie Thon baseball card and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? And I looked him up. I was like, oh, he's pretty decent. He got hurt and shit, but
Stargell was amazing, and he had a run where he 48 homers, 33 homers, 44 homers. I mean, the Pirates were so good, but yeah, he was the year that he was MVP when they won the World Series in '79, but he was actually, believe it or not, check this out. This is actually kind of crazy stats. So Willie Stargell, in all his greatness, you're like, man, this guy is a stud forever. But when they made the run to win the World Series, you're basically getting Pops on his last legs. This is the end of his career. He's 39 years old.
That's when he was going by Pops.
He's 39 years old. Dude hit 32 bombs that year.
Yeah.
And won the MVP. Like, they put the World Series ring on that finger. Like, old Willie Stargell, super fun. by all accounts, just an awesome dude. But yeah, he got to start early. You got to start early. 1962, and I don't know his minors. They show minors.
So, yeah.
59. Was 19 years old. And Pittsburgh D-ball. That was back when they didn't have A. They had like B League, C, D League. They had all these crazy.
You know what I've noticed
minors.
too on this little podcast?
Yes, sir.
8 episodes in, we mentioned a lot of classic older baseball players. We don't, because baseball was just like.
I don't know. Maybe we're just a historical baseball podcast with. I mean, I could talk about the games we watch it, but it's the personal interest story, like the aspects of like Yogi Berra and his life and all the funny things he did and said are far more interesting to me than breaking down like present day stats and
I agree.
Launch angles.
Because everybody does that.
Oh, you know what the mini segment we didn't talk about?
What's that?
You just let me know when you're just gonna like. It's like a pit bull. He got on the leash. Like, whoa, he's freaking out. Don't take him off the leash yet. But at some point,
Ernie, cállate, shut up.
You're just gonna like pull the clip off my little pit bull neck and tell me to talk about the MLB Ghost Runner rule. Okay.
I feel like we need to get like electric dog collars, and you got to wear one so when you're like getting out of control, I just shock you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, okay,
but yeah,
I'm not going to go into
that
it.
That pisses me off.
It's so bad.
The fact that this team gets a fucking runner on second and did not earn that runner.
Because we talked about it last week. I thought it wasn't a thing now.
Because dude, you fucking bunt him. He's already one out. He's already on third. If he gets there, you know what I'm saying? Like still, to have a guy on second base. So I was telling that to my wife. She likes baseball. She's, and I told her about this rule, and she's like, "That's fucking bullshit. Like, why do they get a runner?" It's like because people are trying to ruin the game.
I don't get it. Let's not go there yet. I'm perturbed.
Next week, episode 9.
I'm perturbed.
It'll be called the goddamn Ghost Runner episode.
I mean, MLB is because like. You're going to do the lockout. You're going to do all this rule stuff. Like and I don't want to be the guy that's that insane where I just go full boycott because I can choose to watch college baseball and Japanese baseball. I was seeing this dude. I think it was MPP guard, Nippon League card guy. One of my favorite follows. He had like this website he found, and he was like watching on his laptop like 4 Japanese league games at once. And Major League Baseball has got me to where it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, dude. You are effing with this game to the point that it's not the same sport that I grew up with. Yes, you have the best players, but you've effed with it too much and disrespected the history of the sport too much with your monkeying with the rules where, you know what, dude? I might tune in for the playoffs. I might not because I might be so into KBO and Nippon League that I'm not going to. Are you going to do the Ghost Runner in the fucking World Series? Like, what are you telling me right now?
Okay, so if their fucking goal is to speed up the game, here's what you fucking do. Go tell them to watch games in the 50s, okay? Tell them to quit fucking messing around with their batting gloves for 5 hours.
Oh, my God.
That's what fucking does it. It's not the game itself. It's the goddamn warm-up shit that these players do now.
I mean...
Their fucking gloves that take forever. Their fucking accessories they got to fix. It's, you know what I'm saying? I watched the 54 World Series last night, some of it.
Yeah.
And these dudes didn't have fucking gloves. They didn't have gear. They walked up to the plate, and they just were ready to go.
Pace of play.
That's what it is.
Pace of play is a little bit of an issue, and there is a way to speed that up. But, I mean, if I'm at the ballpark, I don't even care.
Baseball is great the way it is.
If I'm at the house, I don't know if I'd care that much more because it's not like I sit there for 3 hours. I'm walking around the house doing stuff or whatever you're doing while the game is on, and then you come back for the closer. Like regular season, just go to the ballpark. So, I don't know. That's
me personally. I've never had a problem with anything about baseball. I don't think it's slow. I don't think it's fast. I think it's just great pace.
All right. Well, Sturgill's a legend. I think you were the pit bull that got taken off the leash on that one.
I'm sorry, sir. I just can't.
It is upsetting
because it's these people. I'm like, well, do you watch baseball? Well, not really. Then shut the fuck up. You have no right to say how baseball should be played if you don't watch it.
I'll say this. So, okay, so. It's like, I mean, this is what would happen in junior college if you started running a second. The first batter's going to bunt. I realize major leaguers think they can't bunt because they'll say, like, oh, you don't understand. These dudes are throwing so hard it's impossible to bunt. I was like, no, that's you with the fucking bullshit excuse.
It's an excuse, yeah.
You can bunt a baseball if you tried to fucking bunt a baseball. And yes, it's fucking harder with these electric pitchers. I get that. But that's the play. Hit it to the right side or bunt it. You get him to third. runner on third, nobody out. And again, it's harder than college or these other levels because these pitchers are so good. But now you're just trying to put the ball in play. They're going to bring the infield in, okay? Runner on third, no, and you just like sack fly or whatever, and the game will end faster theoretically. But it's just, oh my gosh. But I think we transition to colleges around San Antonio and college baseball generally.
Texas State, some of the best.
All right. Here. So I'm going to start just doing my shout outs. I don't know if any of these dudes are ever going to listen to it. But
you have a shout out, and I'll follow your shout out with a shout out of my own.
We'll go a couple more. The first dude we're going to highlight is my favorite baseball player in the world currently, Luke Malone.
Plays for?
UTSA. And he follows me on Twitter. So.
Oh, shit. He's definitely. You should tag him in the post, but hey, check it out.
Here's what I'll say about Luke Malone. Couple things. The dude is 3-0. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. 29.2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. 4 earned runs. I mean, what's his whip? They don't really put the whip up there, but his walks to hits innings pitched has got to be astronomically low. Opponent's batting average is 212. This dude is dealing. And
he plays for UTSA?
UTSA is dealing. And I saw an interview with him with this, they do this Roadrunner thing where they're getting Division I baseball players, or like any Division I athlete now, because the NCAA is asinine, many assets and aspects. They have now done this NIL contracting. So name, image, likeness, players can profit from. And there's all these rules, of course, where I don't think a booster can give you tons of money to be in his car commercial, but I think it goes back to the I forget the UCLA hoops player that was on the cover of EA Sports or one of those things that made millions of dollars, but he's like, dude, I'm on the cover of your video game and I got $0 and you got $700 million. That doesn't necessarily seem fair. So
that's why I'm glad that the NCAA decided to start paying players.
Yeah, so they have some rules where these dudes can get paid, and Luke Malone did an interview for one of these non-for-profits that creates ways for players to do media and social media interaction and start getting a little bit of boost on their likeness. So Luke Malone absolutely lights out this year, and he's probably going to the next level. So rooting for Luke Malone, but UTSA is really great last year. I followed them. They're 13-10 this year, and they beat some good teams at the TCU game. They kicked Seattle University's ass, and that's what you get, Seattle. Southern, they beat some folks. They got swept by Oklahoma. La Tech dropped 2 out of 3. This is what's happened. They've been cold lately. They just can't throw Luke Malone every game. But they got some dudes on here with good numbers. Let's see what we got here. Look at this guy. He's got 22 innings pitched, 2019. I mean, they got some dudes. They got some dudes there. But let's highlight Sammy Diaz hitting 420.
Okay.
Leighton Berry's super clutch. He's got 1 homer, but 9 doubles and 45 RBIs. But Ian Bailey's got to be the guy. 316, 8 dingalings, ding-dongers, 63 RBIs. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Total bases. He's got 24 bibbies. 24 bibbies in 23 games. This dude's Reagan. So support the Roadrunners, Luke Malone, all of his teammates out there. Try to get out, catch some games. Now we're going to move on to the UTSA Roadrunners taking forefront. Talk about University Incarnate Word and their kerfuffle. I don't know if we already covered that. Did we cover that at the beginning of the show? I can't remember.
I think we may have talked about it before, off air. Okay. But we were talking about them, yes.
Well, we need to highlight Texas State came down on a Tuesday last week, and I was like, 6:30 p.m. game, these midweek games, they're not these 3-game sets that are conference. And Texas State comes into town. I'm sure assuming they're going to whoop some ass, and they got rolled up 4-2. Incarnate Word beat the 20th team in the nation, and they weren't 20 at the time. They were even higher ranked.
Yeah, 'cause they beat Texas.
Yeah,
I
they
think,
beat Texas. So
which was I think at the point they were ranked number 1. Texas was.
yeah, Carson Rollins pitched a great game. Gave 6 innings of 1-run ball, and the Incarnate Word Cardinals beat Texas State. It was a good ball club, so that's kind of awesome. And who are the batting heroes there? Yeah.
Are you talking about the Texas State game?
The Incarnate Word, Jimmy DeLeon. He goes 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. So, and a run scored. That's some good stuff right there. So, shout out to the Cardinals. They're about a 500 right now. They're 11-10. They're doing good. And
there's plenty of games left, so they're kind of.
So now we're going to roll into Trinity. And Trinity is by far, I would have to say, one of my favorite places to catch a ball game. And Trinity also has those awesome dudes that are maybe in there, like, because Trinity is really good at like media broadcast. They have that jazz channel that they play here, and then the dudes will do play-by-play, and they have all these like automatic cameras set up, and so you can watch every Trinity game with students doing play-by-play, and they're good at doing play-by-play. So that's pretty awesome. But it's a really cool place it has a couple bleachers. Somebody's over there grilling hot dogs, or you can put up your folding chair under the trees outside. But Trinity's got good baseball and a cool field, so go check them out. And they're good this year. They're 12-7, it appears. And let's see who some leaders are. Who have they beaten? They got, because they're like Division III, so they play Texas Lutheran. These guys, Centenary, a couple wins against Centenary. They got Concordia tonight at 6 p.m. Don't think I'm making any of these games based on my schedule. But let's take a look at some Trinity stats. Here's what I'm seeing. Leading hitter. Guy's played almost every single game. Hit .392 with 3 ding-dongs. Ezra Gore.
Must be something in the weather here that when people come to play college baseball in Texas, they do well.
Look at this right here.
But I think they're just good baseball players in general.
Brian Schaub, 21 RBIs, 4 ding-dongs, but only 1 double. Schaub, I need you to get some more stuff off the wall. But he's hitting .310. He's the RBI leader. I mean, that's the numbers you care about. He's driving them in. MJ Metz, 3 ding-dongs, 9 doublies, 12 bibbies. I mean, it's good baseball. Let's try to keep track of these teams. I really want them to go to next level. So that's your Trinity baseball story. Now we're going to go the other. We're going to feature Olu. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened to my Olu?
Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake. They're 16-5. I don't know what happened to their stats, though. But Olu's pretty good baseball, and they play. I drive right by their field. They didn't have their stats up. That's why. But they're 16-5. Let's see if they beat anybody
16
awesome.
15.
16-15. Let's see if they beat. And I'm not sure what level that conference is.
They're 11-6 in their conference. And currently they're on an 8-game winning streak.
Louisiana Stevens Institute. They swept Stevens Institute. Take that. Jarvis Christian College is getting their asses handed to them.
Institute.
I mean, they're running. Olu's running up the score, 13-8, 16. This is some offense. We're gonna go check out Apparently that game got postponed. They swept Wiley. Olu's going off.
Holy shit.
Dude, they're on some kind of winning streak here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Texas College must be shitty or something because they beat Texas College 32-0 and 19-0, apparently.
Where is that? I want to find that score. Oh, that is.
So either A, the scorer is messed up on this website, or they just fucking killed them.
That's not. Actually, because you see, if I'm looking at they played Texas College 32-0, 7 innings, slaughter rule.
19-0.
Next day 19-0. Next day forfeit visitor. That's pain. You don't want to do. As a coach, you don't want to do that to your kids. You're like, we ain't playing. Like, we're not ready.
But then they beat that team, but then they go on a losing streak. So they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, Olu's got a weird year. So here's how Olu goes. They win. University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. Then they lose, lose. So they go 1, 2, 3, 6-game losing streak. win, lose a couple more, win. Then they roll through Texas College. They're a streaky-ass team. Then they lose another 6 in a row, and now they're on a huge winning streak. They got win 2. They're on like a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're on an 8-game winning streak right now. Dude, Olu, what's going on over there, man? Some consistency.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But that 32, I mean, I feel sorry for Texas College.
Man.
It's like you got to forfeit.
All right. Well, that's tough for them. But
however, though, I feel like there was hope there because they won 32-0. And they only won 17-0. So
19-0.
So maybe
this is only going to be 12-0.
Right? Maybe that third game.
It's messed up. But yeah, Olu's crushing some people. Look at the Wiley College scores 26-2.
See,
but this is, I don't know what division that is.
It's probably not a good one.
I mean, you're not recruiting for baseball, but
yeah. Nothing against the guys that play.
Yeah, nothing against
it's
that.
It's just
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to TLU. We got Trinity UTSA, Incarnate Words killing it. Got Luke Malone at UTSA, basically just dealing. And TLU has a place in my heart. That's good baseball. Their softball team won the national championship. They're 15-7. And here's the schedule. They've won 4 in a row. And Trinity and TLU, they're in the same conference. It's like Division III. They play each other. So canceled. I don't know what is happening here. Okay, so they start off slow. They beat Olu. So that kind of tells you the difference in they handily beat Olu. Mary Hired Baylor.
No disrespect to Our Lady of the Lake, but I feel like a lot of teams have beat
that's where I saw it. So Sol Ross is in Alpine, Texas, which has that really kick-ass field, Cockturnup Field, and that's where that Alpine Pecos League team plays. Sol Ross, all use that same field. That's a really cool place to see
baseball. There's a middle school here called Sol Ross, or high school too.
Yeah, he was like a Texas Patriot, the Sol Ross guy. Swept East Baptist. This is Texas Lutheran, everybody. Centenary, sometimes pretty good. Southwest, they slaughter-rolled Southwest. And now, what is this?
You got the mic wrapped on your ankle, buddy.
I mess with my cord. Okay, so they got St. Edward's next. But they have a guy who's going off this year. I want to highlight this kid. Joe Jimenez, batting .425 with 11 ding-dongs and 40 bibbies. That's like, of all the dudes' stats we've been looking at, that's in 22 games. This is what this kid put up in 22 games. 11 bombs. 40 RBIs. Yeah, that's crazy. He's at .425.
I think he deserves some look, man.
14. I mean, he's a shortstop, too. He's a junior shortstop.
Usually shortstops don't have those kind of numbers.
But seriously, that's 22 games. 22 games. Joe Jimenez is freaking. He's freaking on the league. Also, say this about they got a junior outfielder who's doing awesome. He's hitting .357. His name is Blake Capadonna. I want to say one of the Wu-Tang Clan members was Capadonna.
I feel like Capadonna is someone that deserves to play for the Yankees.
I mean, you're basically a Wu-Tang member with that, right. Capadonna.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
But, yeah, TLU's got some good baseball. They had a guy, I can't remember the guy's name. He was huge. He's kind of a legend out there. He's a massive dude, but he got screwed by COVID on his senior year. I really hope he got picked up by somebody in professional baseball. I'll have to go back. I wonder if I can find statistics from like 2020. I'll find this guy's name. This guy was apparently a legendary beast in the weight room. What was this guy's? He'll be like the leader in homers. Tyler Cawley. Tyler Cawley.
That's the stud you're talking about?
Yeah, Tyler Cawley. I should Google that guy. I don't know if he got picked up, but that dude was a beast. I want to look at their stats for the year before because I worked out there and then I would go check out TLU games like after work. I could get like a few innings in, and I went to like a game and this dude was hit and I was like, that guy's pretty big, and he ripped. He didn't hit a homer, but he was ripping balls that game. You could tell he had some good bat speed. So this is what Tyler Cawley did. He hit 8 homers, 47 RBIs. But yeah, Tyler Cawley. Track that dude down. So that's TLU, and then I think we've covered local baseball.
No. We forgot Texas State.
Oh, yeah. Give me some Texas State.
So Texas State right now is probably the best of the bunch.
They are killing it.
They are 20-5. So, because we're talking about like we're like highlighting a guy from each team.
Yep.
So I like to highlight a guy that's pretty good. So he's also number 8. This is episode number 8, correct?
Yep.
So this guy's name is I might butcher his last name, but it's Dalton Shuffield, I believe.
Okay.
So on the year, which is 90, he has 90 at bats. He's batting .411. He has 6 home runs.
And that's like D1 with like good competition.
Yeah.
You're batting 400.
And he has
25 games in, so you're going off.
He has 23 RBIs, home runs. You have 6 of them. He has 37 hits at 90 at bats, so that's pretty good.
Dude.
But there's also a couple players on there. There's other players on his team that's pretty badass too. There's a guy named Justin Thompson. He's batting .337. Some guy named John Worthrich or something. He's batting .305. There's a couple guys that are batting high 290s, like 291, 273. So these guys got some studs, man. 20-5. They're 5-1 in the conference. You know.
I hate their website, but I
around.
found this stuff here. Let's see who we got. Who's the speedster with the stolen bases? They're not a type of team that does the stolen bases.
They on March 9th they beat number 1 Texas 6-4. So I mean,
yeah.
But 20-5, you're clearly balling. And if you do lose, it's not like you're getting blown out. So
yeah, and 100% sure nobody calls him Shuffield. Everybody calls him Shuff.
Shuff.
Yeah. Oh, I think we
because he's leading.
Shuffield.
He's leading the team in a lot of stuff like batting average. He's leading the team. He's leading the team in
by like 60 points.
Hits.
Next closest guy's hitting 337
Yeah.
Division I. Like that dude is
I feel like this guy's going to be
beast,
a MLB player down the road.
But let's look at their pitching. They got some arms. Some arms. And here's what I'm looking at. Look at this guy. Okay, let's just go down the what I'm seeing to be the starters. Levi Wells, 1.72 ERA. Okay, 31 innings pitched, 39 strikeouts. This guys. These are heat guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at you got Zeke Wood, 31 innings pitched, 42 Ks. You're not making contact, dude. You're not making contact with that. I mean, they got good pitching, and they've been recruiting well. That's a good program. That's good for Texas State, which is like, yeah. I mean, that's good stuff right there. But that's what happened, and then Incarnate Word. So their 4-starter, Travis Sundgren, was the starter for the Incarnate Word game. That's what happened there.
Oh, you just mentioned Levi Wells, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, he's balling, dude. He's 3-1 with the ERA 1.72.
Yep.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, so Travis Sundgren got hit with a loss on that one.
There's some of these pitchers have actually hit a couple dingers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Levi Wells, he's hit 2 home runs.
Not that Travis Sundgren isn't awesome. I'm just looking at stats, dude. I'm rooting for all these guys because sometimes when you're like playing ball, dude, you want to have a good year. You want to get drafted. It's just like you just gotta.
I feel like Texas State it's going to be great.
Dudes are good, but you got to lay eyes on these guys because stats aren't everything. I'm just But I mean, Shuff seems like a next level guy if you're just looking at numbers. But you got to see him in person, see the pop of the glove, the bat speed.
Eye test.
Yeah, eye test it.
Because obviously, if he's good, but like if he's like you could be good in college, right? But if you're like, well, this guy, his bat speed is not that great, but so you got to realize how's he going to handle like way faster pitching in the majors, right?
Yeah. Let's link here. Okay, we got Dalton Shuffield. I wonder if they got like the little bios on these guys. That would be kind of sweet.
I'm going to see if I can pull up a video of this guy batting and see how he bats.
I don't know if you can get it, but yeah, there's some good fun baseball to go check out. And I just want
Dustin Shuffield, if you're listening, what's up?
Yeah, dude, we want to highlight these local dudes. We're gonna get somebody listening here.
Because he's definitely my favorite baseball player right now, in terms of college level.
I'll tell you what, Luke Malone's at the top of my list.
I want to go look on their Texas State website, see if I can find a jersey, like a baseball jersey I can buy. My wife is actually a graduate from there, so maybe she can get us a hookup.
Yeah.
Because I was wearing my Texas State hat last week, actually. What's up? Shout out.
We're doing good on time. What are we at? 1:20. We should probably transition to some musical guests.
We should.
And you get into that, and we can keep track of our little Adobe Audition. Plug
Shout
those
out
guys.
to Adobe.
We don't understand you or how you work.
should I introduce?
Excuse the cough. Yeah.
Should I introduce the music?
Let's transition. Yeah. Shout out to all local college baseball dudes. We're gonna check you out. I don't know. Let me look at my notes. Make sure I got everything.
Because I know this week we were gonna try to like not rant for too long and kind of try to stay on point.
We were trying to do it. We covered the 3BGB cat guy. We love him.
Yeah. We covered
the hitting of science. We covered the number 8s. Oh, we did Dickie Thon.
I know.
Dude, we got to get to Dickie Thon.
So here's what we'll do. We'll cover Dickie Thon for a little bit.
Okay.
Close it out with Banner Pilot.
That's the plan.
Yeah, because I think closing it out with music is always the best.
Yeah.
It leaves the listeners with something a little fun.
Yeah, we got to close out with music. But let's do a little bit of Dickie Thon. Dickie Thon, is a baseball card collector. I was always aware of him, and I don't know why. I think Thon is kind of an unusual last name. Is that true? Do you think that's...
I've never heard of Thon. I mean, he's from Indiana, so he's...
No, he's Puerto Rican.
But he's from Indiana.
Yeah, he got born by his Puerto Rican father in Indiana and then he moved
he
back.
Grew up in Puerto Rico, yeah.
That's so crazy.
But when I saw that last name, I wasn't thinking Puerto Rican at all. It doesn't sound like a Puerto Rican name.
It doesn't sound like a Puerto Rican name, and if you were, and I don't, but you would think like a Latino name or Hispanic name, but Thon, and then he looks like a car salesman with a mustache.
See, that's like
so. If you check the
thing.
Baseball Reference, and you're like, okay, Dickie Thon, and you'd be like, I didn't know that guy was from Puerto Rico because I didn't, but I'm not like this crazy Dickie Thon fan. But Dickie Thon was way awesomer than his numbers would appear because he took a fastball to the eye and blew out his orbital bone, and he had this great season before that. Great season before that happened. So Thon was raised in Puerto Rico after only spending the first 2 weeks of his life in Indiana, where his father had just completed a bachelor's degree at the University of Notre Dame. So basically his entire life in Puerto Rico, and he was a shortstop and a good one. And he played for a lot of teams, and he technically was number 8 with the Brewers.
So the guy that was supposed to show up for the second time in a row that did not, he's an Astros guy, and I was going to make the argument with him that Dickie Thon was the best Astro players of all time.
And Bill James, I mean, like the sabermetrics guru, and this is just Wikipedia, so who knows? He thinks Thon might have been a Hall of Famer had the injury not occurred, and that's probably on the basis of his stats that 1 year were really good. He was an all-star. He hit 286 with 20 homers, 79 RBIs in 1983 for Houston.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's a really good shortstop.
He was on his way, definitely.
And he was good the year before that. So, like, this dude's starting to, show some real potential. You're giving him full seasons, and then he gets hit in the face with a fastball. And he was a real positive guy about it.
Because even in 94, he ended up hitting 353 for the year. So
yeah,
that was his after All-Star year. Yeah.
And here's a great one. Like, how good was he? This is a quote. He goes, I couldn't see the ball very well after I got hit in my left eye. I had to make adjustments and open up my stance a little bit to see the ball better. It's tough to do that in the big leagues, but I did manage to play for 10 more years. So this dude can't even see as good, has to change his stance, and is still good enough to play another 10 years in the pro.
He still had years where he was close to 300, like 251, and then 1 year he was like 271. So I mean, he still was able to hit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So Dickie Thon, man, pretty cool. And shout out to my boy Dickie B. You know who you are. Also a legend, and my favorite pants and Dickies.
I loved.
Right.
I always wear Dickies.
I'm wearing Dickies, so it's like the hardest. It's like the hardest name ever.
I feel like his parents were like, when he was born, they knew he was gonna be like a badass. So like he's got to be named Dickie.
And there's a lot of ways, people will go with the name Richard.
Yeah.
You'll go Ricky, Rich, Dick, but Dickie is by far
the coolest,
hardest ass.
Of Richard.
That's the gold standard.
Because his
awesome.
And
it's a great name. Dickie Thon is just fun to say. So get yourself some Dickie Thon baseball cards.
Which I brought in over there.
Oh, nice. And here's another one. This is what he said. He goes, he viewed the injury as one bad moment in a life filled mostly with blessings. And, quote, I've had a lot of good things happen to me, and I try to think about it that way. So just a glasses half full kind of message you're getting from Dickie Thon there. Isn't that awesome? Dickie, I'm a Dickie Thon fan. I don't know why you mentioned that and why you're such a crazy fan about him, but
his son was pretty good too, because apparently his son got drafted by the Blue Jays in the 5th round. 2010?
he might still be playing. Is he still playing?
I had no idea, to be honest with you.
It's awesome.
But the fact that he got drafted says quite a bit.
Man.
Granted, there's a lot of rounds in baseball draft, but still,
Yeah.
the fact that you had eyes on you,
Yeah.
they wanted to take a chance on you.
Yeah. Dickie Thon. That's so awesome.
He owned a Puerto Rican Winter League team at some point. I don't
Yeah.
know if he still does, but
I mean, and here's another thing I'll say. This is very much appreciated in the baseball culture is a mustache game. Like the
Yes.
Bill Buckner level. Like Dickie Thon mustache, that's about as good as it gets. Every picture I'm looking at.
But see, in order for someone to rock that stash, you've got to be a baller.
Oh, don't think I can grow out anybody can just grow out a stash and it's going to look like
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Dickie Thon.
Like, mad props to this man.
And here's another one. So like people be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to grow a mustache, like you're going to fucking try it." No, dude, Dickie Thon every year bringing a game stash.
Because if you look at it, like if you pull up his Wikipedia page, the Phillies picture they have, look at that dude. He's like, go ahead and try it. Fucking try to pull his stash.
Okay, so 81 tops, he does not have the stash. And I don't know who talked him into it or if he was just too young. But after maybe it was like he was just a young man and he didn't know his
like that card that I brought
potential.
in, he barely has one right there in that one. It's barely there.
This is the Phillies.
Yeah, it's kind of coming in, but it's not like prevalent.
No, that's full. Look at that.
You sure?
That's a strong stash. Oh my gosh, that's whole.
Yeah, I would thought but
that's nice. But yeah, so maybe rookie year didn't have it, and then maybe he was just like, I'm gonna try it. And this is, the 80s, right? So that thing, once that thing comes in on top of your lip and you see it in its full glory, you're like, oh, fucking shit. I'm the LeBron James of fucking mustaches.
You know how sweet that would have looked in the All-Star game? With that also, ooh. But see, you know what? I miss the days when the All-Star game where the teams wore their jerseys.
Oh, man.
Instead of having like unified uniforms, Oh,
right. Yeah. That was
like
dope.
National League or American League, they just
you just
played
brought your jersey from your team and they threw a patch on it or something.
Which was way cooler. It was easy to also help identify who they played for. You could represent your team in the All-Star game.
And here's another thing about Dickie Thon. So like if you're gonna have that good of a mustache, like that good. It is A level.
This is great.
But some mustachioed dudes are always kind of like mean mugging. They're looking, like that's all. Like I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm a biker gang level.
Don't look at my girl kind of guy.
There's a handful of Dickie Thon smiling photos, and it just accentuates. Like the stash just makes it that much better. Dickie Thon fan. Huge Dickie Thon fan. Looks like the best dude ever.
The smiling photos are the best ones. Like there's like not a team photo shoot, but he's like, the blue background, like an individual photo. He's just smiling with his Astros hat on. He's like, "What's up, man?" So if that dude ever makes it in here, which I doubt he will, we're gonna argue that Dickie Thon is the best Astros player ever.
All right. And here's what I'm saying before we transition to the music.
What's up?
I want to say at the end of. I might be making this up. At the end of DiMaggio's career, because he only had that like real short, like not short, but like 13 years, and then he's like, I'm not going to go for another 7 and try to do this 20-year career thing, because in his mind, he's like, if I can't bring the Joe DiMaggio level game, like if I can't be that awesome, I'm not going to do it at all. I'm not going to play. And I wish that more mustachioed people would hold themselves to that standard, where it's like, if you don't grow a fucking mustache if you're not in the level of Dickie Thon's.
No, I agree.
Like you're growing it, you look like a child molester. No, you know what I'm saying? Like stop growing it.
Not only are you disgracing the mustache game, you're also disgracing yourself, thinking you can pull it off. Knowing you suck ass. You're not as hard as Dickie Thon.
Yeah. So
what it is nowadays is baseball, they want to grow their hair out and grow beards.
Yeah, beards.
Like
beards
Charlie
hot.
Blackmon from the Rockies, and
beards were kind of hot, like in the 70s, 80s too. But then like let's take away all the whiskers and just
Should I
leave it
grow-
on the stash.
Should I grow a mustache in honor of Dickie Thon?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You gotta. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like.
Because I'm always clean shaven.
But see, Dickie didn't know. Like when let's say Earl grows it, Dutch Chattahoochee grows one in, and we're like, oh shit.
And then
That's
Dickie Thon sees our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
wait
like-
a minute.
So I think you just got to do the DiMaggio. Hold yourself to a standard on your mustache and don't force it.
I don't
I've
know.
tried it. Here's the thing: when you deal with people in the Middle East and Iraq, you can't swear on your mustache if you don't have a mustache. So everybody had mustaches over there, and just dealing with those dudes. And technically, it was within, I believe, Marine Corps regulations. You could have a mustache. So we all grew up mustaches. And then when my boy Husing saw me, he goes, "Dude, nice molestache." Because I did. You
shit.
look like a child molester.
You had a
because-
mustache?
Well, just for
Okay.
the deployment, but it sucked, and I'm very well aware that I cannot properly grow a mustache. And I played with a mustache after that just because I thought it was hilarious. But I mean, if I had the pride of DiMaggio, I would have just stopped. Like he's like, if you can't bring A game, don't do it at all. And
I
that's
agree.
that's all I'm saying about Thon's mustache. So, all right, I think we've beaten that. We've beaten that to death. And I'm not really going to go deep on Ghost Runner. I'm going to say Ghost Runner for episode number 9, the Ted Williams Take 2 episode. I think I've covered everything I want to. And I just want to listen to some music and dream of, what your mustache maybe might look like.
Mine?
I mean, is it going to be as good as Dickie Thon's? I don't know.
The thing about growing mustache, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but the thing about growing mustaches, you always got to have that awkward phase where it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Or you could just grow it all, like goatee and stuff at once, so it's not that bad looking, and you just cut the goatee off and just have the stash.
Oh, here's one more mustache comment, actually.
What's that?
So I'm looking at images of Dickie Thon, and there's one where he's just kind of like looking into the camera. He's clearly retired, and he doesn't have the mustache. He's like a 50-year-old, 60-year-old man
Yeah,
or
I
something.
saw that photo too.
And I'm like, oh, dude, you're kind of like painted in the corner like Tom Selleck. You can never not have it now.
I'm sure he gets.
I mean, you can. You
he
can
gets
do whatever
questions
you
every
want.
day. Hey, Dickie, when you bringing the mustache back?
But like, I bet if Tom Selleck's like, dude, I don't want to go to the corner store and get a Slurpee and get bothered for autographs, he just shaves his fucking mustache off. It's like,
Or-
you're not going to recognize that dude.
Here's what happened. Dickie Thon's throwing a sick-ass party at his pad, right?
Yeah.
Just having a good time, listening to tunes, drinking some beers.
God, I
cooking
want to be at that party.
Yeah, right? And so while he's turning his head to talk to his buddy, right?
Yep.
And actually puts too much gasoline on the fire and it burns the mustache off.
Yeah.
So now he's permanently can't grow it back.
Yeah,
So he's secretly really sad.
That
That's
would
what
be-
happened to his stash. He didn't choose to shave it off. It just got burnt off.
It could.
Because, you know how those Dickie Thon's killer parties are.
I'm not in, and this is, okay, one more mustache wrap, since we're rabbit holing mustaches, one more thing. If I was an agent, like I got Major League Baseball players in my stable, and I'm trying to get contracts, I would make each and every one of them grow a mustache, and then I would grade it. I'd like look at them as like, you, no, shave it. You, keep it. You, shave it. There'll be, but like, let's say you represent 10 guys, like one of them, it's dope. It's Dickie Thon level, and you go, fucking keep that. That's worth about $3 million a year when we're free agents. That's you just look like a batter ass.
And here's
baseball player.
the thing to wrap up the mustache thing. Now you're grading mustaches on base whatever your scale is.
Yep.
Now you get your scale. Now you're going to talk about what kind of hairstyle they have.
That's true.
Because if they have their hair nicely combed, I don't know.
I don't know.
You want to mess up there, right?
Yeah.
You want
It just depends on like if he's a reliever, I need like some long Mitch Williams like shit coming out the back.
you like a mullet almost.
If you're a starter, I might want you more clean shaven Tom Glavine style.
See, I think if you're a reliever,
Yeah.
like a closer, I want you to have long, messy mullet hair,
Yeah,
whatever.
wild.
But if you're a starter, I want you to have like a messy hair, but like almost like a mop head, not too
Yeah.
long, but just you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could do that.
Like the hair poking out the side just a little.
Yeah, like Jack McDowell for the White Sox, he always had that goatee. If I was his agent, it's like, I don't know where to go with that. I don't know if that's hurting us at contract time or helping us.
Like people are looking at you and they're like, I don't know.
I don't know. But like I guarantee Dickie Thon was getting like a couple extra 100,000 when it came to contract time. It's like, it's Dickie Thon. And
Before the mustache, he was whatever. But the
Yeah.
mustache came out, he picked up his game big time.
yeah,
Became an
that's-
all-star, Silver Slugger award, I believe.
Yeah.
Gold Slugger, one of the two.
Yeah, get it. If you can do it, grow a kick-ass mustache. All right, buddy. Who we got on top for music?
Banner Pilot.
Oh, you plugged in? You all ready to go?
It's on there. I made a playlist of 5 songs. One from each album, so we could get a different era.
Do you want to control it? Because I'll fuck it up if it's somebody else's phone.
No, it's on Spotify, dude.
All right.
Because I can't reach the level, so I can't do the whole
I see.
phase in, phase out thing.
Okay.
So I know, because I know you always keep track of the time of how long we play the song.
I don't keep track of nothing. All right, this is the part where we got to look at the master. We'll fuck up the sound.
So,
Banner Pilot, tell me what you know.
Banner Pilot, I've seen them live quite a few times. Not a shit ton, but a handful.
Where are they from, bud?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, that's a good town.
So, the thing about these guys is they write poetry. Their songs are like poems. They're poets, man. They're like, when you listen to the lyrics, it's not some generic fucking like lyric. It's like poetry. And the thing cool about their songs too is they're not like they're not like a song where they try to rhyme, dude. It's just words, but they mean so much. They're like but yeah, they're from Minneapolis, Minnesota. They've been around since 2005. They haven't came with a record forever. They haven't played a show in forever. I don't even know if they're still active, but one of the guys, Nate, the bass player, he randomly posts about his other bands. He's like, hey, so I don't think Banner Pilot's still together anyway, but they haven't officially broken up. But anyway, yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis. Shout out to Prince, one from up there. And also, have you ever heard of Harmar Superstar?
Nope.
I think he's from the Minneapolis area, and that guy has a voice of an angel. He's got some jams, so shout out to Harmar Superstar. I don't know if he's a baseball fan, but I feel like every from Minneapolis is. All right, so we're going to start with the first one you put in the list, right? Just go down the list?
Yeah.
All right, this one's Uptown Sleep Solution, and I got to get this onto the cell phone.
I really feel you're going to dig this music, because I feel like it's, of all the bands I've showed you, I haven't really showed you anything like this yet. You're going to be like, this is fucking awesome. So
okay, here we go. This should play. You hear anything yet?
Nope.
I don't hear shit.
No music.
All right, this is the issues we have with sound. But we've never not had issues with sound.
You're correct.
All right, so this thing's plugged in here.
Did you make sure you turn the iPod up? The volume may not be up on the side.
Oh, there's a thing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our problem. Okay, let's start back to the beginning on that one. All right. We're now back to the very, 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 very beginning. So the volume up wasn't on the phone. I was like, oh, something's fucked up with our soundboard. Okay. So it's all hooked up right. This one is Uptown Sleep Solution. Push and play. Is that good, dude? Is that a good sample there?
I love that line where it says, "Let the record cover up the words that we don't say," or something like that.
Dude.
What do you think of that song?
That was fucking awesome. Banner Pilot.
I love Banner Pilot. They're like one of my favorite bands ever.
All right.
Seen them. The dudes are really cool in there, too.
Yeah, they had that particular album, I think, has a picture of all the dudes in the band, like, playing around or laughing or something on the front. I'm not sure. That was dope. I like that a lot. That would be super fun to go. Where all have you seen them live?
There was this punk fest in Florida that I went to a couple times. Seen them there.
What's the name of that punk fest?
It's called The Fest.
No shit?
Yeah.
Do they have many punk fests around the states, or is that like a main
we have
one?
a few. There's fests all the time. They're just not as well known as other fests because they're.
Where in Florida, like Miami or something?
Gainesville, downtown Gainesville, University of Florida is.
Oh snap!
They
go to that, and then go to some
it's fun.
Florida Gators baseball games. They got that. Did you see that shit that he posted on the Florida Gators baseball facility? Yeah, it's just like I'm always freaked out looking at our
but
levels.
no. But yeah, dude. So, and then they came to Texas a few times. I went and saw them in Austin one time. I think Dallas too. But
All right.
they're fucking sick, dude.
They are sick. We'll do the next song, but also check out on YouTube University of Florida's baseball facilities. Talk about a fucking recruiting tool. It looks so amazing. All right, let's go here. The next song is called Barker.
It's my favorite song off
This
this
is your
record.
favorite song? Okay.
One of my favorite songs by Banner Pilot by far.
All right.
Dude, Nick the singer, he's like the singer of this band. He has a sick vocal. His vocals are so badass.
So that's good stuff.
Because they're very raspy, right?
It is kind of raspy.
And seeing him live, he sings just as good live as he does on the record.
These guys are thrashing.
Yeah. But if you pay attention to the lyrics, see how much poetry there is in those lyrics.
Let's talk a little bit about Punk Fest. Is that fucking crazy? Did you just get in there, and get slammed and moshed?
Yeah. So here's
is this pre Mrs. Raymond?
Yes.
Okay.
But I knew her too one year when I went to.
Okay. Did she go?
No.
Okay.
We were dating at the time.
I got you.
So here's the thing about the fest. So there's a thing called pre-fest.
Oh shit.
Which
this is like pregame?
Yeah.
It's like get your this is spring training.
Yeah. So it's like a day, I think, or two before the fest itself.
Okay.
So you go there, you do that for a day or two, and then you go to the fest that weekend and do that for 3 days.
Oh shit.
So you're going to pre-fest on Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, going to the fest Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's like 4 or 5 days of just punk all day.
God dang.
I remember the fest.
Stamina.
Yeah. So it was like the fest would start at like 11 in the morning and wouldn't end till 1, 2 in the morning.
God lordy.
So I remember when I went, I was like, okay, so I would go to these shows because it's downtown Gainesville and there's different bars and different venues. There's everything. There's no matter where you go, there's shows. So you would go to a show, you'd go to different venues, see all these bands, get drunk, fucking go to bed 3, 4, or 5 in the morning, wake up at 6, 7, and do it all over again.
That's so crazy, dude.
The last time I went, I remember I'd slept like 2 hours, got up and drove all the way to Louisiana with 2 hours of sleep from Gainesville, Florida.
Those days, like, I don't know, like South by, like, I think most people just get tickets. I mean, you can get for the festival, but I feel like you're just like, you want to see the one dude or whatever band that you want to see, and you go that day and check out 21 Pilots or whatever it's going to be, and then that's all the energy you got.
But dude, I don't know if I could handle the fest
in
now.
Florida. Which
I don't know if I could handle it still. I know
Florida's some wild news comes out of Florida. Is all I'm saying.
The coolest thing too, man, is like you go to these you pay like $100 whatever for like 3 days. But the thing is, you can go there, get CDs for $5, shirts for like $10, $15.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I would always come back with massive amount of stuff because you discover a lot of bands too. So say you go to this venue there and you're like, man, I want to see this band at 3:30.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to go anywhere else. I'll just hang here for a couple hours till they play, and you'll hear other bands.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. Let's go back here. So that's Barker. This is Skeleton Key.
Ooh, this is a ripper, man.
This is a ripper. All right.
Yeah.
We're driving down Garfield Ave when you said a strange and significant thing again. Remember the words, this was a beautiful night, it would never happen this way again. No one did, nothing much close right
banger, man.
So live, they used to have this guitar player in there named Corey. He was like their lead guitar player at one point.
Yeah.
And he would always live. They would always switch vocal parts. So live, it sounds way different live than it does on the record because there's parts live that Corey would sing that's not on the record. Because when they would record these songs in the studio, I don't think Corey did it with them really, because their bass player was like a musical badass. He would come up with like the rhythms and all that stuff.
Do you know anything about how they came up with the name Banner Pilot?
No.
Should we Google that?
I don't think you'll be able to
know,
find
just a
it.
band name.
I don't think, because I know a banner pilot is an actual thing.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, like a banner, like pulling the banner behind?
Yeah, like
a
a banner pilot.
Banner pilot. Okay, I get it.
But how they came up with that name, I have no idea. So, a little story about this band. So when my brother and I were going to go to Fest one year, we were just looking up who were playing. And there was this band called Banner Pilot on the list, and we'd never heard of them. We thought the name was kind of cool, so we started checking out their music, and that was that. But they're fucking sick, because if you listen to their lyrics, they're really fucking good.
They're cool.
They're not just some stupid, like, basic lyrics. There's a lot of thought in those lyrics.
Here's the interesting rabbit hole on their Wikipedia page. If we're doing it. It's, it says their music is influenced by acts such as Jawbreaker, the Lawrence Arms, Screeching Weasel, which is a great name.
Screeching Weasel's badass.
They're badass.
All these bands are badass. I know all these bands. Yeah,
it's a profile Screeching Weasel.
No, I don't like Hot Water Music, but the other ones I do.
Yeah, and then you got. I like the fact that they were. One album was for Go Kart Records, which is hilarious, and then that Fat Wreck Chords. But
that's a legendary label by legendary frontman of NoFX, Fat Mike.
NoFX. Oh, rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
All right, so one of the videos we're eventually going to post on the 3BGB to try to like at least stay with the leader of the pack, the 3BGB cat guy, keep our content up, is a bunch of graffiti stuff. And I don't know if we're going to do a remote from a graffiti show, but one guy around San Antonio is NoFX. And I've seen it spelled a couple of ways, but I've also mainly seen it spelled just like the band. And it's kind of cool. Like, the lettering is cool and stuff like that. But I was around, like, photographing and, like, getting footage of, like, all these different graffiti spots. And then I think a lot of these muralists that are so, like, crazy good artists, they travel in from other cities. Because I seen one dude who was totally dope, but it said Philly. So I was like, maybe that guy's just like an artist, and they came in for like this graffiti festival and painted that mural. But there's one huge one that was fucking dope, but it's always like a big foul, right? If you go over the top of somebody. And NoFX was just like, fuck this mural, and he went right across the bottom of this really sick ass piece. So I was like, I don't know what bone NoFX has to pick with that guy. But anyway, that's local graffiti NoFX besides the band, but rabbit hole. That's how I think with ADD. All right, let's go back to the next song here. Eraser, bud. What are you going to say about Eraser?
Badass.
Have you ever seen the movie with Schwarzenegger, Eraser?
No, I know of the movie, but I've never seen it, no.
All right.
But I've seen this song.
Eraser is the name of the song, but it does deserve about a 30-second rabbit hole.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Give me that rabbit hole.
One of our greatest actors ever.
You like Schwarzenegger. Huh.
Dude, I mean, he's just like, whatever happens to people like later in life, and he like banged his he's like a Republican, people don't like that. He banged his like housekeeper, whatever, people don't like that. I was like, you just watch like Bill Burr the comedian has like a pretty good like 5 or 10 minute bit on what a great man Arnold Schwarzenegger is and how amazing of a person he is. He's like, he's like, you're going to tell me I'm going to go to Austria, learn the fucking language, become the biggest movie star Austria's ever fucking had, and then like win political office on top of like being a bodybuilding champion. He's like, Schwarzenegger is kind of fucking amazing. But anyway, Bill Burr is kind of how I feel about Schwarzenegger. But anyway, this is back before all that shit went down and Schwarzenegger was still like the major pull. He made a movie called Eraser. Had Vanessa Williams in it. Vanessa Williams was Miss America.
Yeah.
And she cut a record that went like fucking platinum or something. And here's what people don't know about Vanessa Williams. I'm going to plug this guy. Oh, dude, this is such a rabbit hole. People don't need this. If I can see her, Vanessa Williams' brother is a fucking comedian. I have to do this, Earl. I'm sorry. This is, and we'll get back to the music, but we have to rabbit hole. We have to be fully committed to our rabbit hole.
Honestly, I don't think if we were baseball fans, this podcast would be called The Rabbit Hole.
That should be. Okay, so Vanessa Williams' brother is the comedian Chris Williams. And Chris Williams is funny as fuck. And he shows up in an episode of the fucking Larry David show, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You know, I've never seen it, but I have seen Seinfeld, and I love Seinfeld, and I think he was one of the writers on the show, right?
Oh, I don't. Well,
a show about nothing.
Yeah, well, no, Larry David created Seinfeld with Seinfeld. But anyway, so he gets done with Seinfeld, makes Curb Your Enthusiasm. Everyone thinks that's hilarious. And Chris Williams is Vanessa Williams, Miss America, the chick in Eraser. But Chris Williams...
Oh, this fucking guy. I know his face.
Dude,
yeah.
He is in this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where he plays a rapper. And it is the funniest shit ever. And I think I heard him on like the Sklar Brothers, somebody talking about how he got this episode. And so this is like, this is not going to be perfect, but this is like the dialogue in the episode of like, I think he's called Crazy Eyed Killer. His name is rapper persona. And he goes to Larry David, and like Larry David like somehow like gets involved with him and like borrows a jacket. It's a really funny episode, but he's at this party at Crazy Eyed Killer's house, played by this comedian Chris Williams, and he's talking about his rap lyrics. He's like, "Yo, Larry, what do you think about this shit right here? I fuck this hoe, I pop a cap in this mofo," and like he goes down this whole like classic rap stuff. And then Larry David goes, "You know, that's pretty interesting, but I noticed you called him a motherfucker right at the beginning, and then later on you call him a motherfucker again. Shouldn't you call him a punk ass bitch here and then a motherfucker later, and that's just gonna flow better?" And the Crazy Eyed Killer's like, "Oh shit, Larry, that's some good motherfucking advice." He like changes his rap lyrics. But if you see it in real time, please check out the Crazy Eyed Killer.
I typed in Chris Williams and this fucking dude came up.
Oh, that's not him. That's not him.
I know, it's with the show.
It's not him.
I want to show you. It's some random white dude.
No, Chris Williams is a black guy, by the way.
I know who Chris Williams is. I just wanted to show you this photo.
Yeah, so
just to get your reaction. Like, yeah, that's not him.
This is my TV.
Oh shit.
This is my.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah,
I had to show you that.
Yeah, just Crazy Eyed Killer. It is season 3, episode 8 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Fucking hilarious. Back to that's like a perfect example. Rabbit hole. Brother of Vanessa Williams. Most people don't know that. And she was like the female lead in Eraser, which is a great movie where they had a really weird weapon that was killing people, and it was some whole thing. I can't not recommend Eraser. It's another awesome action movie from fucking Schwarzenegger. And if you don't like that, then that's not a Schwarzenegger problem. That's a you problem. But, you know, for anybody out there that says, like, I'm not going to check that shit out, you just fucking ruined your own life for that, like, 2 hours
so
that you could have watched.
So aggressive, man.
No, you didn't ruin your own life. Just like you could have 2 hours of joy by watching Eraser, or you could not. It's just
2 hours of joy.
It's your choice. Okay, rabbit hole. So the next song is Eraser.
You're giving them no choice. You're telling them watch it or ruin your life.
Yeah. Also, well, no, not ruin your life. Ruin 2 hours of your life that you could have had before. Like you're gonna be on your deathbed. You don't know what happened in Eraser.
Kind of like when people watch the Sandlot 2 and get really disappointed.
It's just they're fucked on that one. So Eraser, the movie. Here we go. Back to Spotify. So Eraser is the next song. Sorry for that rabbit hole. That was a dope. Right. That was a dope rabbit hole, though, right?
I dug it.
Okay, here we go. Let's turn it up.
Dug that hole.
Sorry. You know what I'm doing? I'm fucking starting the song and I don't have the levels up, so people are missing the beginning of the song. I'm just going to keep the levels up and go back to the beginning. All right, here we go. Eraser.
So there was a lyric coming up that's really fucking sad. He goes, "I don't do very well alone, but I know you're not coming back."
That is sad. That is sad, folks.
But, you know, he was mentioning in that song, too, that he's like, yeah, I got half a bottle to get me through.
Let's not do the sad. Let's stay positive. Life's hard enough. Fake it till you make it, folks. Stay positive.
But that is a sad-ass line. It's like, I don't do very well alone, but I know you're not coming back. You're like, oh, fuck.
Okay, so the next song is Matchstick. Is this their last album? Because you put them in order. This is
this is the last album. I don't even know when this
album.
album. Hold on, when was this last album? I remember buying this album when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in 2014.
Okay.
So they haven't made an album in what, 8 years?
It's a while.
But they were old. I mean, they got shit going on, dude. You know, so
I think they had a fucking video that I seen. I'm actually like now go back and like remember they were actually kind of big. Like they were like charting. Right?
No,
no, they didn't. Oh, I thought
not in like far as like on the mainstream.
All right, never mind. I thought they were like getting up there with like Blink 182 stuff with like one.
No, but
song.
I feel like bands like this should because they're really fucking
They're
good.
They're talented.
Like just like the lyrics alone, you know. Like you're listening to it right now. There's poetry. There's like life experiences. It's not just like stupid shit.
Okay, let's get some Matchstick, buddy. Everybody's ready? Bam. I should have faded that out, sorry. I suck with the soundboard, but you know.
I can't reach it.
It's fucking is
I
what
it is. What that out.
It is what it is, dude. That's good shit right there.
What do you think?
I fucking think they're awesome. And I think you're fucking awesome at picking out music for us to do our segments, too. I love that shit. And I loved hearing about Punk Fest. That just sounds crazy.
It's called the Fest.
I feel like there's a lot more stories that are coming out of Punk Fest that we haven't been told yet.
Maybe. But there was another fest in California, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a bunch of pop punk bands.
Okay.
And it was just pop punk.
Was it in L.A.?
I think it was San Diego. Maybe.
Okay.
I never went, but I have a compilation, and the compilation is fucking sick. Because I'm more pop punk than I am more like non-pop punk, I guess. I don't know how to say that. But
I want to check out that we talked about it earlier, but there's that baseball punk movie, and then I got these movie posters from Desolation Center, which was like the precursor to Burning Man, and there was like all a bunch of punk crazy dudes would go out to the desert and just fuck off in the desert.
I think punk is like the best music in the world.
Well, there's so much awesome random subculture around it that just isn't around mainstream stuff. I
just think to me the lyrics and the experiences that they write about are true.
Yeah.
Where like sometimes in other genres it's kind of like stories.
Yeah, and honestly, because and some of the songs are so fast, you're just like I don't know, just like where you're just getting the lyrics out. You're saying what you want to say. It doesn't even have to fucking like rhyme perfectly. You're just going. So. It's good stuff right there. Banner Pilot.
Because sometimes like, you'll hear a song, like another genre, and you'll be like, oh, man, that song's cool. Like, how do you get, like, what happened? He's like, I just made this song up. It's just a story. Like, Bruce Springsteen was really fucking like that. He always would, all those songs were just stories and shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I like a lot, like punk a lot too, because it's like like a lot of the songs I can relate to,
mm-hmm.
especially when I was drinking all the time and being sad. So that's why sometimes a lot of those Banner Pilot songs I can relate to and understand a lot.
When you're young, you get sad. Okay, so that's a pretty good fucking show. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so
I feel like there's
we're getting longer, but we crammed a lot of shit into this show.
I feel like there's a lot of bands that I could talk to you about forever and show you that you'd be like, what the fuck? This band's
well, that's
awesome.
why I'm getting my education through you, Dutch Chattahooch. So,
Like, yeah. I mean, it was hard picking out just a couple songs to do because I wanted to show you like all the songs.
yeah.
But I was like, you know what? We'll just give the people 5 songs and they can
So much
make
music.
their judgment based off those. Because I always like to do songs from different eras because if I just do like all my favorite songs, they'll be from the same album. You won't get a taste of each how they advance as a band.
Man.
But
I'll tell you what. Oh yeah, Blinn Junior College is in Brenham. This is a random. I was going back why Don Baylor had so much stuff at the Bluebell ice cream factory. Went to junior. Blinn is in.
because I saw you posting the pictures on Twitter of like the jerseys.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah. Right.
I thought you hung those up in here because our walls are white in here.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude,
that'd be sweet, right?
I was like, where'd you get all fucking those jerseys?
Yeah, Brenham's some epicenter, some good ass ice cream, and some good baseball. But 3BGB's bringing the punk music with Dutch Chattahoochee like a pro.
Yeah, it does have Chattahoochee myself.
And when we talk to y'all next time, we're going to have attended at least one, because I got tickets to all 3, but I don't know if I could go to all 3, LMB Liga Mexicana Baseball.
I wonder if they're going to pull me out of the stands and close the game. It's been a while, but
they could do it.
they might need a closer because their closer might be...
They might do it. Did you post the Kenny Powers baseball card? Was that what I saw?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Kenny Powers. Dude, Eastbound and Down. Have you ever seen that show?
Dude, Kevin McBride is so funny.
I love Eastbound and Down. I never saw it, but I bought the box set just because it was a baseball show.
Dude, he is so fucking funny. I know it's not. What is the guy's name? That
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. I'm such an idiot. Danny McBride is fucking hilarious. He also made a really funny movie called Foot Fist Way.
He always has the coolest characters he plays.
He made Foot Fist Way with his buddy, and it was like where he's a karate teacher. It's so fucking funny.
So there's a character in Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's like a Danny McBride type guy, and it's so funny because he's always like, one time I got this monkey and I trained to do kung fu, and he's like this. I can't remember this guy's name, but he's a Far Cry 5 character, and he says random shit like that. Like, so if he's your companion in the game, as you're playing, he'll just throw random stories like that.
Yeah,
like when we get done killing this, we're gonna go home, listen to some tunes, get drunk as fuck.
There's like. And like comedians' personalities come out in their roles, and Danny McBride's like the number one example of that because nobody can kind of do that sort of like Eastbound and Down comedy without the Danny McBride gravitas. You know, it's the same thing with like Zach Galifianakis. Like everybody's kind of got their own flavor. But love me some Danny McBride. Eastbound and Down is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I kind of want to go home and watch that show again.
That's so good. All right, bud. We got our outro. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Mr. Nakatomi. I will say, just because I'm playing golf with Mr. Nakatomi so much, just on Thursdays, that my handicap's getting a little bit better.
He's never going to invite me.
He wants to invite you.
He's
won't. Like, why won't Earl come? I was like, well, he's working all the time. And Mr. Nakatomi's like, I'll put him in charge of our Pacific division. So, like, I don't know. There might be, like, work for you in Nakatomi Corporation.
It depends what role it is too, because like my first and foremost, my dedication is 97.9 The Cat.
Yeah,
and I really don't want to leave 97.9 The Cat. However, I don't know. We're
like kind of becoming friends with Nakatomi, so like you don't want to do business with your friends. Maybe I don't know.
I think we kind of turned the corner with him because I asked him because he's a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, other than the Pirates, who do you kind of have an eye on? He said Tampa Bay Rays. I was like, oh, shit. So that kind of made me look at him a little differently.
I mean,
because his favorite pitcher of all time is Matt Garza when we had Matt Garza in the Rays.
Man.
So.
I mean, it's like he just he's a good guy. And he's also so rich with Nakatomi Corporation. And I'm really going to get into like Japanese baseball. And I feel like it's going to be like he might buy a team and then I don't have to deal with Major League Baseball and Ghost Runners. I can just be like,
he's going to be like, anytime you want to come up here, free free games, free tickets, whatever you want. Hotel booked, everything for free. He'll hook you up.
It's kind
Like,
of
have you seen his house?
yeah. Well, I've seen pictures of his house. I've only ever.
But you know what's weird though?
Hung out in the boardroom here, where he's just like chewing out the cat executives, which is kind of nice because they always try to chew us out, and I like watching him do it to them.
At this point, him chewing somebody out is a daily basis thing.
But he was playing golf and he hit a ball. He hit a ball and he sliced it, and he threw his club and he goes kusakare.
But he's good, right? He's good at his golf. I heard he was.
He's not that good.
So,
and he doesn't even mind me saying that because he's trying to work on his game, because culturally it's like important to be like good at golf with some of like the execs and like other corporation heads he rolls with. But I guess my understanding, kusakare means something bad in Japanese.
Because William, who does maintenance around here, he told me that he was good at golf. That Nakatomi was good at golf.
Well, honestly, if Nakatomi gets more liquored up, he's better.
Okay.
He gets looser. He's too high strung because he's got so much shit going on. But anyway, but that's it for us. We'll roll it up, buddy. You got anything else? We covered so much stuff. What did we cover? Let's do like a summary.
Well, I will say that Chris, we had a pitcher named Chris Archer for the Rays, and we traded him to the Pirates, and he kind of sucked there. He came back to the Rays. It wasn't that good either, so now we got rid of him again. So please don't bring him back. He's just not what he was.
Don't bring that guy back.
He's not what he was.
I don't know. Maybe his third time's the charm. Where'd you ship him off to? Where'd the Rays ship him off to?
We went to this time. I don't know if he got released or traded, but he went originally when he was with us. He was pretty good, and then he went to the Pirates, and
maybe he goes to the LMB, and we see him on Friday.
He's like, "Hey guys,"
he's playing for Monclova. Who knows?
Right? Tio's gonna win those fucking series.
We covered 3BGB Cat Guy.
So number 8,
Hitting of Science, 8, Dickie Thon, San Antonio baseball, and Texas State San Marcos baseball.
Local teams as well.
The local dudes, Luke Malone, doing it up.
I made my pitch to Full Throttle to
Dickie
sponsor
Thon,
us.
Yastrzemski, Bill Dickie, not to be overshadowed by Yogi Berra, the greatness. American hero, Cal Ripken and his little bro, which I have to say it again, in his baseball card that says fuckface. And there might have been some nepotism involved in his career, but that's not his fault.
But he ran with it, so now when he gets upset with somebody, he's like, "Hey, fuck you, fuckface."
He's like, if Billy Ripken took it as a joke and he did it all the time.
He's like, "Fuck you, fuckface. I'm Billy Ripken. What the fuck you gonna do about it?"
Oh my God! I really hope Billy Ripken appropriated that for like the rest of his life.
That's what I would do. I would take that quote and run with it. You know?
I hope Billy Ripken.
Because they're like, "Hey, did you see your baseball card? I saw it. Now fuck off, fuckface."
It's like something super innocuous, like where he's like he's just in the dugout and is like his friend.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, have you seen my glove, fuckface?"
Yeah.
He just uses it all the time because it was on his baseball card.
He goes to the umpire, and usually when you go to bat, you kind of just have a little chat with the umpire. Hey, whatever. It's like, so he throws a ball, and it's clearly a ball, but it's like strike. He's like, "The fuck you doing, fuckface? That's a ball all day."
Just write it on all his bats.
Yeah. He goes, "You guys want to make this a joke? I'll run with it, and I'll mark it myself."
Too funny. I hope that's happening, Billy. All right, we'll get it going. I always drag my feet on the outro, but we're at 2:20. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We love you guys. Now we're just gonna bump it up with the
Tuesday is gonna be a great episode. So much to talk about.
Oh, it's good stuff. There we come. Out we go. Everybody we could talk over as we roll.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's gonna be a good day today.
I'll make a shout out to the Ingram Mall over there.
Yeah?
Because Ingram Mall always has the tickets, hats at the lid store. That's where I got my 1942
Kansas City
Monarchs Negro League hat.
That is so nice.
Instead of saying Negro League, for some reason I always say Negro, but it's Negro League.
Yeah, the Negro Leagues. You know who's a big Negro Leagues fan is Greg Proops, improv comedian. He's been the presenter for the Negro League.
And I usually don't wear white hats, but this one I had to have it.
Yeah, the Negro Leagues have in Kansas City they have like a festival every year, and Greg Proops is the presenter for a number of years. He's a big baseball fan. So shout out to Greg.
Shout out to Ingram Mall
Comedy
store.
Comedy hero.
Keeping it stocked with the sickest hats. Also, I'm sorry I keep going.
Yeah, no, that's the outro.
We're going to that mall today, and I'm going to, if they still have it, buy myself a Mexican National League hat.
Well, that'd be sweet.
So
I like it. Got to get those hats. We got to get hat racks up in here.
it's the green one with the red bill and the red logo.
Oh.
Classic. Yeah.
Nice, buddy. All right, man. Well,
Viva la baseball.
Till next time. Now we got to edit this shit. All right, good. Guten Tag, Auf Wiedersehen to our German listener.
Adios,
and
amigos and amigas.
All our friends and family. Thank you for listening.
And salute. I'm going to take
Salute.
a shot of this energy drink here.
All right, out we go. Officially, I'm shutting the fuck up.